Get him before he shoots.
Yo!
Yo!
Hi.
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 Ah.
How everything been doing to you, watchers? I hope you are well.
So. Magus is out of town. So we can decide what to do. My initial thought was, just hang out, talk a little bit about, games, RPGs, and just kind of vibe. And then if we want to do something while we're chatting, we could, fire up like some board game. There's other board games on Tabletop Simulator apparently, or at least that's what I hear.
Let's get a game of Axis and Allies going.
Campaign for North Africa, go.
24-hour stream, let's do it.
I was gonna say Campaign for North Africa, but I forgot the name because I'm an idiot. Because I'm dumb. So, has anyone been playing anything interesting this week, by any chance?
Yes. I've been playing Dread Delusion and the Tartarus Key.
I have heard of neither of those.
Red.
Okay, Dread Delusion. Are you all familiar with the predecessor to Demon Souls?
Oh, I've seen this. Oh, I've seen this.
What was it called?
Kingsfield.
Kingsfield, yeah.
Yeah, Dread Delusion is a Kingsfield-like.
Honestly, it looks a little bit more interesting than Kingsfield, if I'm being completely honest. It looks a little bit more interesting than Kingsfield does.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's the way that like Shovel Knight is what you remember NES games being like.
Yeah.
Dread Delusion is what you remember a Kingsfield game being like. It's better than that, but it's what you remember it being like.
That sounds heartening.
Yeah, it's pretty good. I really like
it. Every time I always think about games like Kingsfield because they have this really weird aura because of the limitations both budgetary and technical at the time. That's very hard to replicate without hurting your game potentially.
Mm-hmm.
It's a matter of people needing to get used to the limitations, artificial or otherwise.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For example, go ahead.
I was going to say, working within limitations can make you work better, and forcing limitations on yourself is a good idea. 10% of it, most games would be better if you cut out the 10% of it, and that's true of almost any art.
Yep.
I'm kind of dealing with the same thing with the cutscenes that I have to work on Dying Breed, where we are intentionally trying to I like to call it the best of 1995 effect, if that makes sense, where the cutscenes I'm trying to make them on the same level by trying to mimic the lighting, and I essentially told the person that's making the 3D models for the cutscenes to intentionally try and make them PS2 level quality, because the 1995 top quality would look like the PS2 top quality in gameplay wise, with gameplay models. I mean, maybe not that, maybe just a little bit better than that. So, for example, if you see background characters and they absolutely do not look super realistic, that is part of the point, because as weird as this will sound, it's a bit easier to do realistic or realistic-ish than it is to try and do the older, jankier version on purpose.
That doesn't sound that weird to me. That makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Have you seen?
It's also
what's it called? Garth Marenghi's Dark Place.
What's the name?
Garth Marenghi's Dark Place?
No.
It's a comedy horror show that's made to look like a really bad horror show from like the late 80s, and it was very difficult and extremely expensive to make the show look terrible.
Yeah.
That is so funny. That is such a funny concept that it actually costs more. Although I guess with live action, it's a lot different than with say like modeling and such. Which difficult. It's still difficult to get it, but it's like now you know that if you make like a model that doesn't look super realistic, you don't really have to worry about that. Like, because it doesn't matter. Also, the only difficult part I would say is, so we have like two advantages. One is that if we need to model something, like for the environment, I can handle that and it won't be that different. However, to save myself a lot of pain, because I'm not being paid enough to deal with it, Sketchfab offers a lot of free for commercial use models that people are offering up, and honestly the difficult part is finding one that's just right. Like I got PS1 car, but I need something in between. Which is the difficult part.
GD.
But yeah,
I'd like a little bit of feedback on something if you want to click into my stream. If not, no worries.
I have it clicked in, but like I switched over. Ooh, that's looking nice and boggy.
I kind of wanted like just another eye on it, and also wanted to see if it worked for Sprig. This will be one of the paths that you'll be taking in the next couple of sessions, likely. I mean, you don't have to. There's actually several directions you can go, of course.
Only thing I might do is that's because like it's still technically kind of a forest, but I guess if it's meant to be an arena potentially, then I guess this is fine.
It's just a plain wooden table for me.
Yeah, I was gonna say, it's still somehow not gonna work for someone. I can just sense it.
I mean, if you remember,
like,
I
there
still
is not a single
can't.
asset or anything on the table for me.
I still can't load. I still can't load Jade's game in Tabletop Sim, and I don't know why.
Any of them? Because this is a completely new map that I made from scratch using the starter of Colton's table, which is one of the most popular tables on the app. Like this
one
I don't even see the music orb anymore.
You don't even see the thing in the back, the this thingy.
No, there is nothing.
Wow.
And Jade, I want to point out, usually with your game, I can at least get in and see it before it crashes. Here, it crashes before it even loads in.
That's insane.
Even half the candles didn't load.
This
I'm
is like a
reloading
much.
you to see if...
This is like a much simpler set than the town that I've made.
Okay, I just watched...
Because it's all the stuff is referenced from Google. All the stuff is loaded from a Google Doc. Like a Google folder somewhere.
That... Oh... I mean, not
that
from myself.
Why absolutely nothing works.
That just...
It's trying to pull assets like... assets and textures and stuff all from Google sources.
That's a place that a lot of people upload stuff for to.
Let me load in and see.
And Google simply does not work for me.
Instead of doing anything else today, can we figure out why Sprig is blacklisted from Google?
Yeah, Sprig's been banned from Google for a long time. This is a known thing.
I was gonna say
this has been a problem for me for a long time. That Google's everything does not work. It is actually impressive and unique. Apparently, if someone has a Google Doc, for example, like Jade, if you had a Google Doc that was a
I have
page
many.
that said fart. We'll just say as an example, just like a text
On it.
document that just has 4 letters in it. And then you invited me into it, and I read it. There is a about 1 in 30 chance that it corrupts every single one of your Google Docs. Like your whole Google Drive just dies.
That's
I am
not great.
I don't have anything in mind, so let me see if we can do that. I'm down.
Yeah. Jade, I am only seeing. I'm seeing the table.
still-
I'm seeing the. I'm
Huh?
seeing
Sorry,
this
go ahead.
bridge over here. I'm seeing this bridge over here, and everything else, I am not.
Also, if I disappear, it is storming. It is storming a lot. It's a lot
Oh.
of storming.
I can change to a map that isn't storming. Will that help?
No. In real life, it's storming.
Yeah. I was gonna say.
I know what I said. That is really frustrating because I literally I made this map and I was proud of it. And
I am.
I can
This
see
is-
it on your stream, and it's very pretty.
yay.
It looks fantastic. I can't load it because Google
I-
is a bug.
I wonder if. Part of me wonders if I make you something and then send it over quickly to you, if that works. You load it and that works. That'll be like.
Well, let me load something
Interesting.
directly from the workshop, okay?
Okay.
Like a third of the assets from here came from this Swamps RPG map. I'm just going to load this up and you'll be able to immediately see the
getting,
comparisons.
Red text. Failed.
Yeah, this map has a lot of failed, which is why I specifically grabbed the parts that weren't failing for my map. But this map should have a lot of failed, but it should still have a functional map. Let me know if it works.
Honestly, a lot of the time I just see the failed, but it still kind of worked. Most of the stuff just actually works.
Yeah, that's pretty common.
Map, for example, I get the fail on like 2 or 3 things, and then the rest of the map works.
It's
My
it's-
stuff I
it's
uploaded
kinda
to
like-
Steam Cloud. My own assets.
Oh no! Oh no! I clicked on something and I think it might have changed something. I'm sorry. I
No, you're
thought
fine.
This
clicking-
map actually seems to
Then it
mostly
wouldn't-
work.
wouldn't-
Yeah, I'm getting
good.
most of the
Okay.
assets.
Okay, Sprig.
Okay, I'm gonna.
Mhm.
Here's the part that I'm going to cry about. I'm looking at your stream right now, and the parts that are working on your stream are, by and large, the parts that I used on my other map. I just used those parts. I didn't like upload them to Google or anything. I just copied them from this map. So
Well,
why
now
this?
I've loaded the assets, so maybe they're in a cache that my computer can actually use.
Maybe that shouldn't be how anything works, but it is Sprig, so you know.
It shouldn't be, but you know.
I'm gonna wait for. Sorry, Liv. I'll. Just 1 second. Let me finish my. Oh, okay. You need to connect. Okay.
Technology is weird and picky.
I hate it.
If this one's working for Sprig, then I'm gonna try, but I'm not too faithful because it is looking
Because
very
it's
messy.
me. Because I'm here.
Hmm.
I mean, yeah.
You're not just any Fae. You're a Jinx.
No, I'm definitely not. I am a changeling.
Actually, what's the? Is it the Jinx? No, Jinx is the bad luck one. I'm thinking of
Are
like
you
the one
are
that
you kidding me?
sabotages.
Are you kidding me?
Oh.
This one works. I guarantee if you go back to Colton's table, it'll crash though.
I will
Make
as soon
money.
as soon as Polarms finishes loading this one, because their internet is having a day right now, probably because of the storm.
Yeah.
After they're finished loading, I'll switch back to my map and
Yeah.
then I'll cry. Well, I'll save it and then I'll cry then instead of now. Okay.
Mhm.
I could just exit out and you could just do
No.
that. I don't mind.
I will
It's
no.
fine.
I
just
Okay.
I could change it right now, but I want you to load it because I want to see what happens at then. So yeah, we'll wait until for you to load, and
Okay.
you know, if no one like truly
Oh, hey,
objects,
it's
then.
moving again now.
Oh,
I'm
Sprig,
sorry,
is it,
I'm
It took a
free.
minute there. It was set at 33%, and it's just okay. Now we're doing better.
Sprig, does this initiative track work for you?
Yep, it's visible.
Oh, where is
Neat.
it? Trying to find it.
I am
Throw it on the
unperturbed.
side.
I am simply eating a corn on the cob.
Ooh,
Fuck it.
Porm.
Ooh.
Also, I am
like
entertained
it, Quan.
like looking at the initiative. We got NA2, Eric, Initiative Ham, Initiative Grief, Initiative Chungus.
Yeah.
This makes sense.
It's just a dragonborn named Chungus, and I appreciate this.
I'm just trying to imagine him with the like same proportions, and it's like, aw, it's a chubby dragonborn.
It's a dragonborn whose draconic ancestor was Themberchaud.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I can't help it. It's just how I'm built.
You know what? Chats.
I do.
Opinions on Themberchaud. Would, yes or no?
Whomst?
Jade, how do you not know about Themberchaud? He's in the D&D
It's the
movie.
dragon from the D&D, the new D&D movie.
I mean, he exists outside
Oh!
of that. He's just really fat.
Thumbershot. Okay, yeah.
Yeah,
he's
you
just really
absolute
fat.
Chubby dragon.
lad.
No, okay, no, they're amazing, and I love them. I just never knew their name ever.
Yeah. Everyone loves Themberchaud.
I really love. I really hope that we get a second movie.
It's like Dodogama. You can't hate Dodogama.
True.
Okay, now I get to find out what Dodogama is.
Oh, it's a Monster Hunter. You'd hate it.
Yeah, no, that's terrible. Everyone hates this.
Yeah.
Just
Polar Arms has bad Monster Hunter opinions. This is an ongoing thing. Also, bad opinions about Final Fantasies.
I just wanna
That's
point
not true.
out. I just wanna point out the poster child for Dungeons and Dragons, the dragon of Dungeons and Dragons. His main distinguishing characteristic is that he is overweight. That is it.
He's big.
Yeah, but
Like-
he works for it. He keeps the.
I
the
know.
dark
Like,
one.
it's just kind of funny. It's just kind of funny that when you think of Dungeons and Dragons, the dragon that you're thinking of is just a giant fat meat that never leaves the Underdark because he can't fit out of his cave.
I'm mad at you for calling them a neat.
So, that's Thunderchild specifically, but like, the dragon that's on like the official like DM screen, and it's like has been used very frequently as the red dragon on all the covers and stuff, is a Shardowlan.
Also,
Who is best known for traveling to another universe and eating his own soul.
Yeah.
interesting
and, like-
hobby.
That's a,
Well, like,
that's an
the-
interesting hobby, yeah.
The dragon that's known as for Dungeons and Dragons movie, though, for sure.
Yes, for the movie.
Like that's
I have
the only dragon.
I would argue that
I
more
have
people
looked
know
up-
about Themberchaud, even before the movie. More people knew Themberchaud before they knew a Shardowlan.
Yeah.
yeah,
Nah.
I did not know about a
I don't know
Shardowlan.
about that.
Well, I
A
didn't know
Shardowlan
either.
had
But-
a Shardowlan had a board game, has spells named after them, has like it appears on a lot of the D&D merch. Is also the D&D of the D&D ampersand, like the trademarked ampersand of Dungeons and Dragons that
Yeah.
they made for 5th edition. Like
Yeah.
the red dragon of D&D is a Shardowlan.
Wait.
Oh,
Hold
Okay,
on.
so I
I
looked
like
up what a Dodogama is.
Thunderchild better because he's much more entertaining as a character. As limited as his characterization has been, it's more interesting than this red dragon is such an awesome red dragon that he even eats the souls of the other copies of himself.
Hold on a second.
if we're talking about dragons, I was once walking past a game store, and like my eyes immediately darted to this image, this book cover in Stuff But Pointer.
By the way, you said from 5th edition, but the ampersand being the dragon goes all the way back to the red box.
Mhm.
Neat.
But the trademark for it, I believe, was specifically the 5th edition.
Really? I would assume they had trademarked it much earlier.
I mean, that would involve them making good decisions. So I've seen
yeah.
Dodogama, and I like Dodogama. Dodogama is great, I just
Thank
wish
you.
those demos in a good game.
I
is.
and everyone else are going to throw rocks at you. It's for your own
Except-
good. It's actually not for you. It's for our own good, but
I posted like a book cover and stuff with Quieter. I'm pretty sure it's an official D&D book, and I just love that cover so much. It's just a big
you
laugh.
were right about the ampersand. I figured out the why of it though, Jade. The trademark is different. And it's just because the design has changed every time. The ampersand has been different with every iteration.
yeah, that makes sense.
They should make the one for the next D&D Thember child, make him the ampersand, because he's fat and useless. Just like one D&D.
Oh snap! Oh snap!
Yeah, true. There's some issues.
There's also some
Issues.
non-issues that people are making issues, and that's the only part that bothers me. Like, there's stuff that you can be mad at,
Same, agreed.
but there's definitely people who are mad at the wrong things.
I mean, they
There's
made,
people that
I
are
mean, they
mad
made,
at, like, the art of the new races, and, like, the new art of the races, and it's like, that's nothing to be mad at. What you should be mad at is that Paladin's Mind is a bonus action now.
yeah,
What-
and they've also removed druids from the game and just replaced them with clerics that can turn into animals. That's all they've done.
Wait, really?
That
Wait,
no,
yeah.
no. I'm gonna pause you right there. I do have a thing to say about that. People said this. I mean, I don't know what you're talking about, but I do know something that I'm going to talk about, and that's that a lot of people complained that druids were removed from Dungeons and Dragons in 4th edition too because they weren't in the first D&D 4E book. They
No.
were in the second
Okay.
one, and people screamed
that's-
so loud about it.
Jade, that's not what I'm talking
Yeah.
about.
Okay.
What I'm talking about is if you read the cleric, you read through the cleric changes are actually halfway decent. Until you start reading druid and you realize it is exactly the same. Control C, Control V, and then Control F. Anything that says divine is now nature, and anything that says cleric is now druid. They are literally the exact same. The only difference is that instead of channel divinity, druid gets wild shape, and the wild shape rules are worse and different and bad.
Huh.
Because you don't get a new health pool when you wild shape now.
I think that's fine personally,
Yeah.
but
I'm not sure.
What-
I'm not
oh,
sure.
oh.
I'm not sure if I like that.
Druids don't exactly have high health pools, Jade.
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah, so literally the only difference between playing a nature cleric and a druid is literally do you want to wild shape or not. That's it. There is no difference. Like,
One of my
it is
big
bad.
issues was the College of Dance Bard.
Oh yeah, that too. That's also really bad.
It's just, hey, do you want to be a monk but also be a full spellcaster?
Yeah, that I do actually. How do you know?
I
Yeah,
think
that's
you're.
College of Dance Bard. It's just, your subclass is you get everything that monks do. Oh, but also your damage die goes up faster than monks.
I think
do.
you're. I think you're just
So you're
jealous of
a
his
better
advantage.
monk.
Hmm.
I do like
So
how they
there's-
keep messing monks up so bad. I
I-
love 3rd edition monks.
Yeah, they're
There we
still
go.
I
nothing
was-
on the map.
Hells. I just I was linked a video I said recently. You have 3 guesses as to by who, and they were trying to talking about how to fix combat in D&D, and I kid you not, every suggestion they had boiled down to do it the way it was in 4th edition, but we're not going to acknowledge that 4th edition ever existed. Like, it's like, yeah, no, it's a thing.
4th edition was the first
I mean,
last
I
good
think-
edition of D&D.
I'm gonna be honest. I think the correct answer to fix D&D is go play Pathfinder. I'm gonna be honest.
Hard disagree, but
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I just really don't like where 1D&D is going. And
Oh, I agree
seeing as
there.
they're
They're-
trying to retroactively pay. Can I finish my sentence, please? Jake?
Absolutely, I apologize.
They're trying to paste over 5th edition with 1D&D. It's still.
Mm-hmm.
So I get the feeling that once 1D&D is fully released, we're going to see support for 5th edition completely go away, and all of the official spaces for 5th edition are going to also go away, which leaves us only third-party things. And third-party alone does not really do super well, especially when there's already a lot of negative attention. When 1D&D comes out, we're most likely going to see a big resurgence in Pathfinder and also Starfinder. And I'm gonna be honest, I kind of want D&D to die a little bit. Because if D&D dies just a little bit, it opens the space for more different types of system. Because Pathfinder is good, but it has its issues. But Pathfinder is currently the D&D replacement. We need more systems and more settings, and Pathfinder needs to not be the only one, so that it, actually grows and improves.
I would like to see Savage Worlds take a little bit more space. It's such a good system for role-playing.
I agree with everything you said, except that Pathfinder should be the replacement. I agree with everything. Huh?
I didn't say it should be. I say currently, when people say, "Oh, I want a D&D replacement," the majority of people will point them to Pathfinder.
Tragic.
That kind of sucks, because D&D is so big and monolithic. The only, in the eyes of many people, the only valid replacement is just D&D made by people that hate D&D, because that's what Pathfinder is.
True, and that's the mentality that I hope changes, because I agree with most of what you just said, but I want to see people move over to Savage Worlds, to Dungeon World, to other genre games. Look at Lancer, which is a very good game by every account that I've heard, or Root, Mouse Guard, yeah.
I do want to add one extra thing to the whole Pathfinder thing. That's kind of happening. The Pathfinder erratas that are coming out are actually doing a lot to fix a lot of Pathfinder's issue, and the Starfinder set that just came out adds a whole bunch of rules that are getting backported into Pathfinder, and apparently they're really good. So we're probably going to see Pathfinder actually become a much better system in the next year.
That sounds cool, but I'm not holding my breath. All right, Sprig, can you see the initiative thing I put in your table?
Yes.
Cool.
I can also see the candles on this side of the table, but not the ones on this side of the table.
I don't see any candles on that side of the table either.
Gotta love it when it's selective.
Can you
it's
see?
the same model, and I don't know why I can't see them on one side of the table.
All right, Sprig, can you see these fireflies?
Yes.
This is very interesting. Because... Okay, one more. I'm going to put down this. Did that do anything?
I saw cubes for a little while.
Yeah.
There's nothing there now.
There's a candle. Oh, the cube's back.
Yeah,
here's the cube.
I'm seeing a cube. I can see the initiative.
Oh, no,
now
it's
there's
not a
like a
cube
water
anymore.
effect thingy.
Yeah, it's like
Yeah, I'm seeing water.
I see water too.
Water or mist or something.
Mm-hmm.
That's the exact same effect that I have here. Worked for you here.
So the solution is you gotta live build it right in front of us.
Apparently. Jeez.
Do it, nerd. You like Jade, you like speed running.
Oh, it's true though.
Time for a speed build.
That is just really frustrating because I was really happy with this, and I completed the next map for a major area you'll go to, and if no one can see that, then I will cry.
It's strange because I've made like pretty decent amount of maps for this one campaign that I was part of, and at most only like maybe a couple of things were missing at a time.
Wait a minute.
I don't know what is happening here.
Wait a minute.
Sprig just got flashbanged.
Oh.
Yep.
Yeah, I can see everything here, all right. Well,
Yep,
most of
everything
it.
here is working.
This wall end is a ball.
What is ball?
This like wall end section.
Oh.
Oh, weird.
Sprig?
This also
Yeah, there's
has
some
fully
props are
loaded
just
in,
like spheres and stuff, but for the most part, this map works.
Okay.
Yay,
this is
more-
this,
Yay, more marks of the beast. Getting.
this is another one that I built a while ago that you had that
Yeah,
did work before.
Yeah.
I'm gonna try
Oh, no,
loading a
this
map.
is exactly the way that it is now.
Oh, okay. I'm gonna load a map.
It's just a lot of assets just don't load, and I just don't make a fuss about it.
I'm gonna load a map, and I'm just gonna say if you guys are okay with it, minor spoiler warning.
Okay.
I'm fine.
I'm fine with some assets not loading so long as they're like not big
was
enough items.
prepared this time.
Nice.
Oh, I'm actually seeing stuff.
Oh, night all of that. Alright. Stove.
I am not sure if it's missing walls. If it's not, then I'm seeing everything. But actually, no, I think I'm seeing everything. Unless this magical weather is supposed to be an object.
No, I was going to test that out later to see if I could make some dust motes, to imply some, like a like I know there's a dust storm in here, so I was going to try and modify it, see if I could get it to
Okay.
look good.
Okay, so most of this here is working. As far as
Yeah,
I'm
it seems to
concerned.
be working for me too.
Okay, good, because this will be the next area where people are going to need a map.
And the music sphere is back. So the music sphere works here, and the candles are on
What-
both
what
sides
is
of the
going
table
on?
here.
It's the
what is-
same music
what-
sphere. It's the exact same
It's
asset.
the same
that's
props. It's just
Yeah.
sometimes they just don't load.
Fucking, I don't understand.
I mean, clearly, I like. After this campaign, I'll switch off of Tabletop Simulator into something else because clearly it's not working. But I do want. I like
It's
Tabletop
very-
Simulator.
It's very tech inconsistent.
It is, and I
Well,
don't like that.
I went to
I-
the void. I went to the void for a few seconds.
Oh,
Go ahead,
lucky.
Liv.
I recommend Foundry.
Same. Foundry is very good.
Yeah, Foundry is pretty good from what I've seen.
Yeah, this is the dust particles. I don't know if they will show up each for you or not.
The only problem with Foundry is that you can't have like a 3D environment in it.
You
But
can.
wait, what?
Yeah, there's mods for that.
You're kidding me.
No?
No, you can just do that. That's the thing.
So
Foundry is
I
incredibly...
never got it to work personally, and I've never experimented with it, but I know that people do it in 3D.
Because it's like if you told me like, oh, you just make a flat 2D map in like a 3D software or something, but because I don't know how that would work in Foundry.
Foundry is incredibly modular. There's even support for that mod in Dungeon Alchemist, because Dungeon Alchemist lets you make fully 3D maps.
Interesting.
Part of me is like, well, I know that Tabletop Simulator has a lot of assets. Then the other part of me goes, yeah, but those assets don't work. They're not actually worth a whole lot, are they?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's very frustrating because it's like it has kind of the same problem as Source Filmmaker, which thanks to one crazy person, he is actively working on just making it irrelevant and just giving you all the resources that if you're stuck in Source Filmmaker, all of these tools will enable you to transfer shit to Blender. It's actually kind of insane. and the workshop for Tabletop Sim is pretty much that. It just has so much stuff on it that is genuinely useful, like for model ports and everything, big packs in it and such. Also, are those lemmings?
Don't worry about it.
Okay.
Do you want?
This is a spoiler map, so if we
No,
just
no,
don't
no,
think
no,
about
no.
it,
Obviously,
then
I
we
don't
won't
want the
have
real
anything.
spoiler. It's just I wanted to make a funny comment on how they
No,
look
that's
like
fair.
lemmings.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's supposed to be a simplistic art style, as it's was originally going to be a mosaic art painting.
Mm-hmm.
Now it's more of a mural.
I mean, you can still make it a mosaic with like that one filter for Photoshop.
Yeah, and it's using an oil filter instead, which which when scaled down this far, so it should look better. In theory, I don't know, but I'm not too worried.
Is there meant to be a wall in that area, or?
It's painted on that wall. Yeah.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, that wall isn't loading for me.
Honestly, if the image is loading, that's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not saying that there's a missing object there, so I'm just guessing she hasn't placed it yet.
No, there's a regular
object
wall.
there. It's just it's not loading for me.
Yeah, no, I can see it fully.
Okay, it's honestly as long as you guys can see the map and the stacks and the terrain here, that will be important.
Mm-hmm.
Honestly, the swamp trail is mostly going to be done in Theater of the Mind. I made that primarily as a way of having something to look at while we talk. You know what I mean?
Listen, Jade. You know for a fact that I definitely
Citrusy.
appreciate that. I absolutely detest this software for potentially your work going to waste.
Mm-hmm. Like, I was saying when I was building the map that I kind of wish I was just building it in Unreal, but like that.
Jade, I've been telling myself that for a while, but I just don't have the time.
How much of this loads for you?
Everything, or at least the
Seems
majority.
like everything.
Okay.
I can't see anything that's missing.
I
Sweet.
don't understand why it's so
Hey, I'm still there.
weirdly picky.
I don't either, because like I'm using the same tool set for making all these maps, like genuinely, like especially that the swamp trail is just the assets from the swamps.
Yeah, it's not. It's
blown
it's
up
not
and
that
laid out.
complicated. It's not that complicated from what I've seen.
Oh well. Well, some of the important things work. That's good. The only other there's only a handful of other critical maps that we need. Like I can use under the awnings for the great tree.
Yeah.
The funny thing is with SFM, I gotta bring it back. As annoying as it is that it's technically like so backwards and everything, in terms of like it's how unstable it is.
Mm-hmm.
There's a really nice thing about a software that doesn't change, which means over time you just get used to the bullshit factor, so you can actually predict most of the bullshit, and it's a lot easier to find.
And I thought that's what was happening with this, except that apparently not. Because I was making it from things that exist in Workshop. Because I was making it from assets that were in the Workshop, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So, like...
Thank you for the follow, Rick. Welcome to Kobold Moran.
Also, Jay, just to like refer to something you said earlier, when you were talking about JPMF, given that it's I'm just gonna assume you changed those last two letters represent.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
It didn't hit, for some reason it didn't hit me till now to put it into question. But then I remembered, wait.
Then you remember that I said it was on the Something Awful forums?
Yeah. Yeah, because it's like that's my delayed ADHD right there. It's like, wait. Yeah, I have to bring this up now. This is an emergency.
Oh, that reminds me, polearms.
Yeah.
You missed last session,
Yes.
and I really wanted to hear your thoughts, because I know that you did watch it. I really want to hear your thoughts on how it went.
I was planning on watching the last part of it last night, and then I ended up spending 8 hours in the emergency room.
Oh,
So I did
what?
not manage to do so. Yeah.
Okay, lead with that. Jeez. You good?
Yeah, sorry. Oh, I'm fine. My mom.
Oh, right.
was
Oh,
sick,
that's right. I didn't...
And then she's taking some medicine for when she was in the hospital the other day, and she wasn't feeling well, and so her doctor said take her in, and so we took her in. She was just a little dehydrated. Everything is fine, but I did not have any time to do anything last night. I got home, I ate something, and then I immediately crashed. So I haven't managed to watch the end of it yet. I've got like that same hour left. So.
But what are your thoughts from what you've seen?
That I learned some things that, having played this campaign before, I did not know. Say about the Kenku also being constructed. and it I am very sad that I wasn't there for it. I wish I had managed to be there. So, but yeah, I haven't done it yet.
Did you see Did you see the complete moment where my brain was just like failing me on the simplest answer?
Yes, it happens to all of us. Though.
It happens.
Like, it was just straight up that like my eyes were like my brain was working overtime and my eyes were slowly shifting in separate directions.
that moment where your eyes blink independently.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just slightly out of sequence.
Which in all honesty is still a very flicker thing to do. It's just I felt it was the wrong situation for him to do it in. Honestly, it could also just be. You could also argue that just Flickr never just thought about like making more than one version, more than one copy, just in case. Which is equally as funny.
Yeah, the cool thing is you guys actually have pretty much anywhere you want to go right now, because like you could go north and check on Imustaltaz, you could go west and check on the Gripply, you could go south and check on the Ririns, you could just skip everything and march to on the Kenku homelands. Like, follow your destiny.
Charge the Kenku little.
Yes. Also, yeah,
Also-
it is this map, Jade. By the way, I crashed the moment you switched to it.
Wow. Okay, let me
Yeah.
throw this one in.
Sorry,
here.
I went too hard. That's really the
Alright,
only
Liv.
thing.
Give me one time. Just one time.
All right, Liv. We're gonna go a little bit retro.
Oh man, let's go.
Nice.
Yeah.
Oh my god, I forgot this is what it used to look like. Oh my god.
I'll take that as a compliment. It's like the environment artist seeing what the map maker used all this stuff for.
Well, when I set this up, I tried to make it as simplistic as possible because you guys were placing half of the map, right? Even if I went harder, I wouldn't have, because you guys placed half these things. Like, don't forget how much of this world you guys have crafted. Like, yeah.
I just took it. I just took it and made it nicer.
Actually, wait, no, this isn't even
Pretty sure
yours.
This is a previous group's. Yeah,
Wait a minute, no,
this
no,
is
no,
Six
no.
Tower
Yeah,
slash
no, this
Lighthouse
is,
instead
actually.
of the.
Wait a
Oh,
minute.
it's
Yeah.
Koobles is
Yeah,
here. I
there's
forgot
someone
about
else.
this. Wait, hold on. This is Koobles is here. Hi, Koobles. Hi, Core.
Hi, Kobold.
Hi, Kobolds.
Hi,
I
Kobolds.
your
Hi, Cor.
instrument. Very fitting Kobold instrument.
Hello, the the stone-built warforged named Mayan.
That's a good name. Eric, a guy with a name props. Eric's guy with a name prop.
I like that one. That was pretty funny.
Ye. And here's this one would be is the one. Oh, this is the pre-craft.
This
Hold on, I
is
gotta.
pre-constructed.
Yeah, this was the setup one. Hold on. That was. Here's your here's the original that you
Yes,
that you guys
this
made.
one's ours.
Honestly, the more I
It is
kind of
interesting that two different groups put the astrolabe on top of the same, like, orange-roofed building.
yeah, I
Mhm.
know, right?
Yeah.
I find it. Also, this is honestly such a. I feel like this is totally plausible to do for like a RPG or CRPG type game, as like a homestead base area. I feel like it needs to be embraced. However, of course, the obvious advantage that you have here in comparison to something like that is the fact that you can the characters that you can populate it with.
Goodness.
But hey, pretty much any game that allows me to have a home base that changes over time, I'm pretty much down for. And more, honestly, I feel like it's something that we really should kind of embrace. I've pitched this idea before, like of just stealing what StarCraft 2 had, by just having a home base that you can walk around in between missions. It's just such a nice but simple way to actually do storytelling without committing to a cutscene. Even if the characters you talk to like have just a looping animation for talking, and then the occasional unique thing. It's just a lot more interesting. Like imagine talking to your troops, and that might actually affect some stuff in the next mission.
Yeah.
Nothing
So
major.
this map doesn't load for me anymore, and I just have a big blinding box on screen.
Why? It's just an image. Well, it's got models on it, but the map should still load.
Yeah, I can't like look straight down on it because I will just go blind.
I think Tabletop Sim is just a little bit broken.
This was like this the last time that we loaded it too.
Oh.
How does Spirit Island work for you? Because that's like one of the most intense maps I've ever seen.
Spirit Island works
Scripting.
absolutely fine. I haven't seen a single problem with it.
It is so
I know, but
painful
how?
and consistent. How?
None of the stuff is indexed off Google, as far as I can tell.
Oh,
Yeah.
why?
But this shouldn't be either, because this background image, is one that I made myself. That was uploaded to Steam User Cloud. So like that.
I
This
have no idea.
Spig, have you done war crimes?
Not recently.
I mean, we've all, who hasn't done a little bit of war crime? Just a little.
And I have Steam Cloud enabled, so it should be able to load from there.
I love the sleeping in Mustatas here.
EP.
She's just a big EP girl.
Having a nap.
Yeah. In summary, meow.
Meow. Meow.
I can try looking into the Foundry 3D stuff for the next campaign.
Actually,
What-
you can maybe ask Magus. I think if I remember correctly, me and some friends bought him Foundry, so he can like GM in the future.
I have Foundry
And-
as well.
Because I know you can loan it to people essentially.
Because like I literally have the campaign finale, like painstakingly crafted. It's too heavy spoilers for me to load it into even test, for very obvious reasons. But like if that doesn't work, I'm gonna be extremely disappointed. It's an older style of map, more akin to like the Kenku one, so it should hopefully work. But like, I have a concern.
Yeah, this map, I don't know why it used to work. Like when we first started the campaign, it worked. And then from around the time that we updated the town map, it stopped working.
The problem is it has to be on your end, and like that's not a helpful thing to say. You know, like that doesn't like
Yeah,
give a resolution path. It's
doesn't-
just
help me figure out like why it doesn't work.
right. But it also kind of is where I can kind of like can't troubleshoot any further. You know. Like, same with like I've had several people load into GD's map, and for some reason Liv just explodes, and you can load in a map. Sprig can literally load in a map that uses the same assets that I used to make that swamp thing, and nothing appears. It's inconsistent is my problem. It's not even the fact that it's failing. It's the fact that it's inconsistent that makes it impossible to troubleshoot.
Yeah, that is.
Because if it was just the Steam, if it was just the Google Cloud stuff, this map would work. The Swamp Trail would work.
Yeah, because like if it works on one map, why shouldn't it work on yours? Then the game just goes.
There is a setting that I have in menu, so try loading the swamp map one more time if you don't mind.
I shall do this thing. Swamp Trails inbound.
Ah,
I warned you. I warned you as much as I could warn you.
I'm just
you
hearing
did,
the
but
every time.
It's not always. It doesn't always blast me in the face with a full white screen.
Every time
No
you do
fair,
that,
though.
every time
Completely
that you do
fair.
that,
It's
I am
completely
just
blank for me
imagining-
too, by the way.
I am just imagining like the
Yeah,
flashbang
it's still
sound
blank.
effect. I'm just imagining the flashbang sound effect and that like one meme of the guy just staring at it. That's all I'm imagining.
Yeah, there's nothing on this for me, and there's a square over here.
Yeah, it's just
A
nothing.
cube, rather. It is making like a cicada sound.
Okay,
Yeah,
the cicada
Yeah, I've
asset
heard
works. Okay, you know what? That's something. At least the
It
cicada
doesn't-
asset works.
It's not making any sound for me. I don't. I wish that I could figure out like something that I can do. You know.
Yeah,
Yeah.
same. I wish I could figure something you could do too.
There was something you could do.
I looked at the configuration and everything, and it just there's no settings to do anything about it.
But like, Magus didn't have any problems with these, like, and like, I don't know.
I'm gonna see if there's any other settings on the main menu. Nope, exact same settings menu.
Okay, I figured, but like, yeah, I think
I'm
checking.
gonna try unchecking that box again, and we'll see if maybe I just had to reload with.
And like, whatever's yeeting live out of the Lonfell is like a separate issue too from anything that Sprig's having.
It's literally only that map too. Every other map is working just fine.
Yeah, it's only the main map of the campaign.
Yeah.
Oh, you never go there though, right?
Fun, just fun, just fun, fun.
Oh.
Yeah, it didn't make a difference. That's the one checkbox, like the one setting I can do anything about.
So I guess tonight it's technical difficulties night. I guess.
Well, it's investigation. This is the real investigation of the campaign.
The mystery of the missing assets.
Mm-hmm.
C'est la vie.
As the French say, c'est la vie.
I keep asking them not to, and they just say it.
I'm still laughing at Fifi being French Canadian.
What city did she say?
Montreal.
Was it Montreal is the Paris of North America. She was dying on that one. It was
For context.
Yeah.
You want to give context.
Yeah,
I had no idea what you're talking about.
we were watching Tiny Toons University.
Okay.
And we essentially got to this part where Plucky revealed the dirty secret.
A gossip rag sort of thing, yeah.
Yeah. And turns out Fifi was French Canadian.
Not French.
Alright, I am gonna try rebooting the game because there's a thing that some people online at least just claim is a fix.
Hooray! I believe.
It crashed. It crashed just trying to close the game.
Of course.
10 out of 10. 100 out of 100.
Wow.
Wow. I mean that's service. That's how fast it closes. My favorite gag from that episode, like right next to the Fifi ones, is just straight up like Taz being a political cartoonist. Just the concept alone is funny.
Yeah.
You want to take a guess what his cartoon looked like?
Nah.
Dribbled.
It was just scribbles, but yeah.
Yeah.
How?
Also, that show leans maybe a bit too hard on the faces, but the faces are good.
It's so good though.
You can see them in good faces, and available now at the cave.
Yeah.
At the company cave.
We added a channel on the Discord that's just labeled "Good Faces" for posting like really good reaction shots from cartoons and anime.
Really?
Oh, excellent.
Because
think
there is a whole series that I read that I'm gonna have to upload like every other page if that's
Oh,
the case.
oh please, and check out what we have there. It's really good. You can find the
Yeah, so does
you can
mine.
find the link to the Discord in the description.
Yeah, I just noticed that we're like, okay, we're doing this a lot. We might as well make a channel for it.
Yeah. I've been adding ones from Spy X Family.
Mm.
It's a fantastic show. I highly recommend it.
Yeah, very much. Though they do not really know what to do with Yor, which is unfortunate.
Yeah. Yeah, but
Oh,
it's still good.
also, speaking of anime, well, I keep forgetting the name because it's such a weird name. That really the Gmod-esque crazy one.
Excel Saga.
Excel. Yeah,
I figured we can watch more of that tonight after stream.
sure.
That is
Uh,
that's a very interesting description of that show.
It
Like-
is shockingly modern humor,
Mm-hmm.
but it's not like shockingly modern TV humor. It is internet humor.
It is. There actually is a line that can be drawn from Excel Saga into YouTube poop into Gmod in terms of like the way that it makes fast-paced jokes that assume genre conventions. One of the big things of Excel Saga is it literally changes its genre every single episode, and
The
makes
diagram is a circle.
and every episode is a different genre, and it makes jokes about that, using that genre as a framing device, and it just changes wildly all the time. It's great.
I think that's how-
I posted a few like random grabs from
Yeah.
the series I was talking about in good faith, by the way.
Nice.
I think just taking on like the different genres is the only thing that keeps it like, okay, that's the TV part of it.
It keeps it fresh enough to justify a 24-episode series, as opposed to just degrading
Yeah.
into the same kind of jokes and noise, which works. It genuinely does work, though. Like it gives it those legs it needs to be able to continue being an actual series.
It also, it's not just the fact that it kind of keeps it like on a small kind of track where it gives it like a framing device for an episode, which like I said, it helps it from unwinding from the
Yeah.
rest of the yarn, essentially.
It's a show that cannot stay focused, or because it's unfocused is part of its strength, but that gives it enough focus that it can still function as a show. I think that's a way of describing it.
It's also just fun. I'm down for anything that tackles like multiple genres of like anything. It's like, oh, you have like songs in your show constantly. Change it up every episode. It's a different one. Repeat as little as possible. So it's like Phineas and Ferb did that, for example. They had a lot of songs, but they kept it different constantly.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Phineas and Ferb is great, really good,
I
good.
really do have to like give the whole show a full watch, because it was one of those shows that was going on for so long. It's like, well, I might as well wait till it's done.
I watched a little bit of it, and I thought it was okay.
It's definitely a show where it's like, it's a lot of like, I'm gonna be honest. I watch for Doofenshmirtz and Perry.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Wait, Perry?
Imagine I am putting on a hat now.
Perry the Planet!
Architect cat.
Yeah.
But yeah.
So
that. And I also
Sorry.
love Buford, the classical bully, but that is smarter than he looks. and also points out intelligent things on occasion.
Fun fact, people telling me that it was really good and that I totally had to watch it is part of what started the now tradition, I guess, of having Saturday morning cartoon community nights. Like before GD was really involved in that side of it.
Mm. I just poured oil on the gas on the flame.
Yeah.
It is genuinely a. Honestly, I just love the fact that it gives me an excuse to like rewatch stuff with people because, quite frankly, there's a lot of.
Quick, kid. Okay, never mind.
What's
I was
up?
gonna say that's reasonable, and I hope that you have a good night, and I hope everybody's okay.
Oh.
I
What
saw
up?
the message in the Discord.
Huh?
We're not having games, so Olivia's
Yeah.
gonna spend some time with her boyfriend. Cause
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Have a good
Oh, that's
time.
it. Yeah. Have a good time.
Night night, Liv. Thank you for
Have a-
coming.
Have a good time. Goodbye. Closing credits. Yeah, it gives me just a reason to like rewatch shows because it's like I have a general rule: do not rewatch a show or replay a game until at least 10 years have passed, so that I forgot as much as possible, so that I can be either surprised at what I like or so I can like judge it fresh. And
Oh, yeah.
honestly, just watching it with people is just fun.
It's a different
Even if it-
experience, yeah.
yeah, because for example, I was really hoping you'd like Earthworm Jim, but
Yeah, it really
But
was
I'm
just
glad-
Sam and Max, but worse.
Yeah. Yeah, that tracks. I mean, given where Earthworm Jim comes from.
no, I can agree with that. But there's still like a lot of things about Earthworm Jim, that show,
Mhm.
that I still rather like. I still love
Yeah,
the
and I
villain.
watched it.
Actually, I will say this. I will say that it had this stronger than Sam and Max, which is a little bit more consistent villains and a lot more interaction with said villains.
That's true.
The main thing that Sam and Max had was the friend for life.
Yeah. Sam and Max, just by nature, can't really do recurring villains as effectively, just because of the way that the writing works. That's okay.
Yeah. Which is a strength of its own, like a new villain, a new chance for jokes, and new archetypes.
Mhm.
And what else? Honestly, just some of the jokes. I still get a kick of like the idea of like the planet of easily frightened people.
Mhm. They reused that concept in the Sonic Boom cartoon.
Really? It's been a while since I watched it, so I definitely
They're-
forgot
they're-
about that.
They're easily scared and passive aggressive.
Honestly, you'd think they'd be scared of being passive aggressive for fear of retaliation. Or, a sick burn. What's there's honestly, like I said, my only problem is that it is only like 3 cartoons, and I'm like limiting. I am like resisting going more than like 3 cartoons, watching them like 2 episodes at a time, because it's like I actually want to finish the shows that we like.
That's always a problem.
Yeah, so I'm keeping it exclusively to like 2 episodes of 3 shows at a time.
I'm gonna be
Because,
just sorry. I'm gonna be just so real with you. You cannot comprehend the number of anime that I have started and not finished.
Yeah, I
7.
I can't do that. For me, when I start watching a show, I the most recent memory of me starting watching a show, and even though it doesn't have that many episodes, I think it has less than 10 actually, where I started watching it and I just gave up on it because it's like, I can't handle this. This is worse than Brain Rot. Was the Soccer
Oh,
Party show?
jeez. I got the redeem. Okay.
It's a good redeem.
Yeah.
Oh, Sprig! My power went out last night before I could read. I was so sad.
Oh no.
Yeah, I was like, I was mid-sentence and like just everything. And keep in mind, I live in the middle of the woods, right? Like I can see one of my neighbor's houses. That's it, you know. So when my power goes out at like 11 o'clock or whatever it was, it's pitch. Like it's like, oh, okay.
It's dark now.
Yeah. All light has gone away. Okay.
time for EP. You don't get a choice.
The union has decided it is nap time.
The universe has declared it. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, Buck.
But yeah, as I was wanting to say, but yeah, that Sausage Party show was like, I somehow managed to get up to the 3rd episode, and it's like, no, I do not like it. It's like I need to be very clear. I don't get scared off or grossed out by things easily, but it's like,
it's just deeply unpleasant.
Yeah, like this isn't. There's occasionally a small bit of humor, but then it immediately reminds me why I dislike it. And I've watched Super Jail, a show that I, on a fundamental kind of hate, but I also like it because I want to see what they're doing with the concept every episode.
Yeah.
Because I hate Super Jail for. Yet again, I'm not against violence, but I hate a show that's kind of like at least 50% of it is like just violence on crack.
Gratuitous violence is the point.
Yeah, violence has a reason.
Very much that, yes.
Yeah. And like I said, I understand that's kind of the point of the show. I get it, but
That's what turned me off of Invincible. I was kind of interested in like the interpersonal and cultural things, like the actual character interactions were interesting, but it felt like they had a blood quota they had to meet every episode.
To be fair, Invincible is one of the. I was like thinking that exact same thing, but it's one of those shows where I was like, no, this is. It kind of does have a point.
Yeah, that's my take on it. If you get the point in Invincible, then it doesn't do
The violence has a point, but it is still gratuitous.
It just felt like a bit much.
No shade on anybody for having like it's over the limit. It's well over the limit. I can see that for a lot of people.
Well, let me take a quick sidestep for a moment to mention something else. There is an incredible amount of violence in the Watchmen comics.
Yep.
But if there's not a reason for violence, they will go a full chapter with no violence because the story doesn't call for it.
Yeah.
And that's the difference between it and Invincible. Invincible felt like they felt compelled to add violence where it wasn't necessary, rather than just having violence when it was, which Watchmen comic did. That's the difference between the two for me.
Personally,
it feels like Invincible is kind of afraid of having a quiet, whole episode.
The end of the first season, I feel like, was the perfect fit for the level of violence that they do with the show. Personally.
Yeah.
Like, it was very telling of, it was very strong for the characterization in those episodes. It was very important in those episodes that that level of violence was there.
And I'm okay with that.
Earlier episodes in it, they did not need the level of violence that they had.
And the level of violence, to me, actively detracted in some of those situations. And in others they didn't, like you're saying. Like, I agree with you entirely there, but, yeah.
Yeah.
It's honestly one of the early shows that, like, yet again, I watched it because I felt almost a bit forced, because it's like, if I don't, it's the kind of show that I put on as like a backup in case, like, Well, I don't have anything that I'd rather watch more, so I guess this is it. After, like, I want to say the second season, Rick and Morty. Because Rick and Morty, yet again, I watched it to see what they do with the sci-fi bullshit concepts that they decide to tackle. But over time, I also realized it wasn't even the violence that bothered me. It was just... And yet again, he is meant to be this way, and I understand that, but that doesn't change the fact that I dislike it, is Rick just seemingly never letting off the pedal, or they literally are designing the world to make Rick right.
Yeah.
There is a point of, like, a character that you hate, and then there's the point of a character that you love to hate.
Mm-hmm.
Because
I'm gonna use as an example, because he's a really, really good example, is Handsome Jack from Borderlands 2.
Yes!
Yeah.
He is a character that you love to hate. He is against you, and he makes it abundantly clear, and he is, like, incredibly vain and awful of a person. And it's kind of the whole point.
Mm-hmm.
Like, even he is aware that he is an awful person.
but he's just
Yes.
gone fully into it.
I just
Do you know
want,
what's-
like, character development.
Do you know what's another
And-
interesting angle in that? That's sort of like Handsome Jack, except it went horribly wrong. Al from Married with Children.
Oh, kind of get
What-
that.
Familiar?
He's a horrible person and a misogynistic jerk, and he's supposed to be a villain. You're supposed to hate him. And the writers found that way too many people were sympathizing and cheering for him when they were screening it, and they were like, "Oh, whoa, 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 whoa! We either need to tone him down so that people aren't like, you know, being terrible about it, or we just need to cut and run or we need to like double down and make it worse so that people don't cheer for him." That latter one didn't work. It's like the worst example of like.
Thank you for the follow.
It's the weird example of a love-to-hate character going horribly wrong that I can think of. Homer Simpson is the same thing, but in a lighter thing. Like Homer, we were supposed to hate in the original Simpsons. Then over time, he became just the Homer Simpson character instead of like the abusive father that he was originally.
Yeah, the thing with Homer is that he's also had
He just became
Homer
dumb with no
renderized-
impulse control.
Yeah.
Yeah, Al is just the problem with Al is just like
Just,
I'm sorry, Paul Arm, but you did get garbled.
sorry, go ahead.
the
Just go ahead.
The thing with Al that I remember is like he just had funny lines, and it's like, of course, when I was exposed to him, I was like a kid that understood English, so I got the puns and I got like his clapbacks and such. Honestly, it is just the fact that is like the problem was they were too good with the jokes with him. Like his clapbacks were mean, obviously, and that's not great, but it doesn't change the fact that they were in fact good clapbacks. It's just that the targets of the clapbacks weren't great.
Well, and the targets clapped him back just as hard. That was supposed to be the comeuppance, but.
However,
However,
that's the thing. That's the thing. He had the comeuppance, but it doesn't change unfortunately, it doesn't change the fact that while I was growing up and watching him, even here in my country, disconnected from American culture, I still kind of felt for him because it's like, but then again, maybe it's just me being empathetic. But also, his life
sort
is
of put upon a little bit. Like he has
also,
a bad job.
his life is objectively miserable. Now, how much of that is due to his
Honestly,
attitude?
who would want his life? His wife is Katie Seagal, and she always wants to get with him.
The thing is, like, that's actually sort of the thing that confused me upon like rethinking about this show is like, wouldn't most guys want that?
And that was the
wasn't
joke.
even-
That was
Yeah.
part of the joke, and it just
Yeah.
and that was part of what was supposed to make him look stupid.
Because it's
Ah.
like
Yeah, it just was confusing to me as a kid. Like, I was like, what?
Yeah, it was supposed to make him come across as stupid, and
I mean,
like a lot of things in the
you
show.
could argue. I mean, you could argue, and I'm talking about this with like hindsight stuff. It could be just the fact that it's a mixture of stupidity and like he's just familiar with it, so it's not exciting for him. The prospect of it.
And at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter, though, right?
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
Yeah.
Welcome, is mayonnaise an instrument? How are you doing? Sorry, it's the redeems.
no
But
worries, no
anyway.
worries.
But anyway,
you get stuff to do to it.
now you
Sounds
got to
like-
do it. The thing, but yeah, we're going back.
Almost, Kate.
One of
Almost.
the best moments, like, by the way, Rick and Morty does still have some pretty solid jokes, and that is
Yeah.
like still one of the good things about it. But it doesn't change the fact that whenever I look at that show, the best moments, the ones that I like the most, is when I see him and Morty actually having fun together.
Like,
Yeah.
my hot take is this: Rick and Morty is a good show, but if someone says it's their favorite show, then I am going to run.
Oh yeah. Justifiably. Well,
It's kind of like, it's a similar comparison, but a different subject. It's like, it's not that alarming if a person doesn't trust a dog. It's very alarming if a dog doesn't trust a person.
No, 100%.
that has the same energy. I mean, it's like I said, and yet again, it's obviously one of the part of the problem is like, for some reason, I don't know why it always has to be like this. That just fandoms end up turning super weird. Like for Rick and Morty specifically, I'm not that surprised. But for a lot of others, I do not understand why you people are like this. Why are you being this level of weird? And obviously,
I
part of the
think
problem.
that like a big chunk of it with Rick and Morty was like, oh well, Rick and Morty was designed around philosophy. All the characters are different philosophical concepts, and it's like, but so is The Simpsons, right?
Yeah.
So like, don't go getting a big head about being a hyper intellectual because you're
I am-
enjoying a show because
I am
it's got
100%
philosophy in it.
I am 100% sure I could find you a Saturday morning cartoon. Like, I'm not sure which one off the top of my head, but there is one where I can probably apply that as well. Maybe it won't be super deep philosophy, but I can also.
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles is based around the Four Humors.
Oh,
Cal-
I now that I see. I never knew that.
I've never even watched it, but I knew that.
Wait, when you say the four humors, I don't think I've heard of that concept before. So.
Red humors, yellow humors, black humors, and white humors, I believe it is.
I never heard about those other two.
It's
Blood,
black
black
bile,
bile.
yellow bile, yeah,
Yeah.
blood, and yeah.
Yeah, it's based in medical theory, but then it like had the whole philosophy around it of like red bile or blood being like sanguine and passionate, and like 4 different major character archetypes basically defined by the four
By
humors.
color.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I mean, my favorite example of that is one of the most obvious ones, but like Calvin and Hobbes.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, come
I
on.
don't really, I
You know,
don't really watch cartoons and stuff very much. So
Calvin and Hobbes
It was-
No,
it was-
that's a comic strip.
newspaper comic.
I
But-
am familiar with like the comics of Calvin and Hobbes. I know they exist.
Mhm.
You have most definitely seen the Hobbes pissing shirt.
Which, no, it's Calvin,
Yes,
and that
I've,
was
I've seen the like
Oh my
peen
god!
bumper sticker things.
and that's
Yeah.
all of those are illegal, every single one.
Of course they are. I'm
Calvin
gonna be
and
honest.
Bill Watterson
I
never
understand-
monetized a single thing.
Which I am of two minds of that.
Fucking
I heavily respect him being like that, but at the same time, I really would have adored these characters if they were animated. I'm sorry, but
Mhm.
that's the one thing I feel that he was wrong with. It's his decision, and I respect that, but I do feel he was wrong for that.
But yeah, they're based off, Calvin and Hobbes. They're based off of John Calvin, and David Hume, I think, is the other one.
Mm.
No, it's Hobbes.
Oh, that's right. Yes, Thomas Hobbes. Yes, but
It actually,
I just don't get jokes.
it's
it
okay.
actually does, it does actually kind of annoy me because I remember distinctly, I think it's been re-uploaded, but a guy made like essentially a fan animation of Kevin and Hobbes dancing and doing all these cute things,
Yeah.
and and I think it was taken down because of copyright nonsense. And you see, that is where you make me go from like, I think I respect it to screw off, essentially.
The only bad take that Calvin and Hobbes ever had is one that was well within their rights to take. And that is, Calvin and Hobbes is my comic, and all Calvin and Hobbes content I want to be my content. That was Bill Watterson's request, and that's exactly what you're talking about. Is he didn't want other people to use his works because he wanted his works to be identifiable with him. Which, again, he's well within his rights to want that, right? That's
Yes.
genuinely a valid answer, but also, like you say, one that you don't, one that
Like
doesn't
I
match your
understand
sensibilities.
I completely understand it for things that people are selling. I 100% understand that. For fan art, no.
Yep, and that's his only bad take. Well, only take I disagree with, I should say. I can't even really officially say it's bad because, again, he's within his rights. Sprig, does this map work for you?
Yeah, everything seems to work here.
Okay, cool. I just wanted to double check that. Don't worry about what this is.
You can know. It can be any
I'm worried
number.
about it.
Given the
I'm
number
worried about
of
it,
like
Jade.
things breachable, dense cover, light cover, heavy cover, light cover, scalable, I figure this must be like a working map, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah, I need to strip the descriptions off for using it as a battle arena. But like, yeah, that's what these were from.
But yeah, there's just like, it's kind of funny sometimes. Like, Jade, that like rat bastard thing we watched? Like, I would absolutely, I still say that would have had like a lot of potential, especially like depending on the level that they would have to tone down some of the edgier parts.
Oh,
I just know that I would have.
I'm doing pretty well, love. How about you? I've been nannered.
Oh no.
But yeah, I would absolutely adore it. Honestly, that's just another video concept that I could just make, where I just talking about pilots that never went anywhere, unfortunately. But man, I would love to see them. I feel like I would have to leave out the modifiers, because if I bring up the modifiers, I would have to talk about a fairly infamous animation.
I have 2 save games here, and I can't click on either of them.
Hey.
Yeah. Honestly, Jade. honestly, Jade, a good channel that I think you might like is Pan Pizza or Rebel Taxi. I always keep forgetting because he uses both. Because he essentially talks about like, he mostly talks about like cartoons, but I do like the fact that he also talks about like just general 2000s-esque media a lot. So he digs up like a lot of like obscure like Western stuff. He also is very stylish. He also has a very stylish presentation that I think you would like.
I'll check it out.
Like, especially since you told me that you like ska, I think you'll kind of vibe with his content.
You like ska?
Can you honestly say you're surprised with Jade?
No, I regularly make ska jokes with Jade.
No, this is a thing. I'm used to this.
He does. It's pretty much, he uses like a lot of like actual bumpers as part of his presentation. Like it's just, I just think you'll like it a lot.
I like things.
Mm-hmm. You like cartoons that are good. But yeah, also just like I said, just the kind of content that he covers is like fairly varied, and honestly, I'm very jealous of him for that. He's one of the few creators that I feel like doesn't 100% restrict himself. I think he kind of restricts himself, but the topics that he covers is like a little bit more wider than I feel like the average channel kind of takes on.
Pivoting the conversation back to tabletop games for a few.
Sure. Like, it has the potential. Like, we can essentially have like a very simple goal that we can work to, and it'll be a lot easier for you to decide. We're talking like just something as simple. It can be as simple as escape and find some kind of place where we're safe, where we feel safe. It could be as simple as that. Because
I don't think that's simple in Dark Sun.
Yeah, I feel like Dark Sun tends towards such heavy survival and like typically dark storytelling and stuff that I don't know if it would be a good fit with our group. We could do it, but like because we're doing.
Well, I kind of agree with that, but we could. I think that might be like the additional challenge is like trying to not be complete assholes.
The Dark Sun does lend itself more to combat too, so
yeah.
Let me follow a question though. In terms of system and DM, I'm willing to DM again, but I think it's worth bringing up. Do people want me to DM again?
I'm down for you to DM again.
I could actually, Jade, I could try and find you some Savage World modules if you want to run them, because those you have like a lot of variety with those, and there's like a lot. Like Savage Worlds is like great for your kind of DMing, if I'm being completely honest.
System-wise, if I was going to suggest something, I would say Gumshoe.
That would work really well for this group.
That's what I think, yeah.
I was thinking Monster Care Squad would work extraordinarily well for this group.
Monster Care Squad?
Yeah.
I've been very curious about Monster Care Squad and would love to see more about it.
Explain?
Yeah. Okay, so GD, I want you to think of Monster Hunter for a second. Okay? It's like that, except you hug them.
Okay, and yeah, you gotta stop being upset about it being about Monster Hunter for a second, because that's bad, but Monster Care Squad could be good, so.
No, see, the general idea is that Monster Care Squad, you play as a group of doctors, by which I do not mean medical doctors, I mean people with doctorate skill who have, who are part of this team.
Jade,
huh?
You're talking about veterinarians.
No, I'm not, and you'll see that in a moment.
Okay.
And what they do is they go out and take care of the equivalent of old world gods. They take care of these giant monsters that that go across the realm. One of them might be a enormous whale whose existence purifies the water in the harbor, or it might be a great flying bird that is that brings rains to the land, to a land that would otherwise have none. Basically, you're taking care of the spirits from Spirit Island. And
yeah, I was gonna say Monster Care Squad across Spirit Island. Let's go.
I'm so into this, but that's the general the loose concept. And then more specifically, each of the characters, again, being having a doctorate skill, might not be a medical one. They might someone's focus might be medical. Someone else's focus might be restraining and fighting these things to hold them down so that they can be taken care of. Someone else might be a focus on linguistics so they can talk to the local culture, because it does a very good job of not being a white savior generator by making it by intentionally saying that alchemy literally works differently in different parts of the world. You will need to talk to the locals to figure out how things work in this area and what medicines are functioning.
And look, talk to the NPCs and go through the whole dialogue tree, you nerd.
Yeah. That's the general concept, and in the mission style is about finding the creature, diagnosing the creature, and then trying to figure out a treatment plan for them, and then implementing it.
I think one of the reasons I might have wanted to suggest like Dark Sun is partially because it's a little bit more combat, and honestly, it'll probably be a way shorter campaign, whether we want to or not.
I will make one other comment though. You might be very surprised to learn, would be glad to run a combat heavy campaign with an asterisk.
No.
With an asterisk on the end.
Yes.
Spring knows what it is. Bingo.
What did you say? I can hear it over here laughing.
In 4th edition D&D.
You know it.
I don't.
That's not a caveat. That's the selling point.
Yeah, I know, for real though.
I legitimately don't mind it. My only annoyance about it is I have to learn a new system now, but at least it's D&D, so it's not as different.
Wait, no, I'm cooking with this. I'm cooking with this. GD. I'm cooking with this. We're rolling with this. We're making a character right now.
Oh, hell yeah.
Do it.
Let's go.
We're doing that live on youtube.com.twitch.television.
I am partially... Okay, so I already have a character that I'm done with in another campaign that would immediately fit because he's one of the races here, a Thrycreen. But I think I described him to you, but I'm not sure if you remember him. Essentially, Thrycreen that wanted to take over his tribe because his clutch. Because I'm not sure if in the setting... in the Dark Sun setting they are nomadic, but he didn't want to be nomadic anymore, and he essentially would have turned into somebody else's villain in another story, but he got beaten and got away. So now he's planning to go back and take over, with the ultimate caveat being just more for the good of his people in his mind, rather than just being power hungry for the sake of it.
Would you be able to screen share the character builder, by the way, through Discord?
I'm just setting it up on OBS. Now I'm going to set it up on Discord.
Yeah, it's just so I can get it on the stream as well.
No, 100%.
I also I forget, in Dark Sun, the gods are no longer there, correct? Or am I wrong?
They're not doing great.
Because they did make him a war cleric so that he can get all the help he can get, because he knows he's gonna have to fight alone.
So let's make, I don't know, what do you want to make? There can be anything. Are you clicked in? Is it working? I'm sharing on the Discord and the OBS.
I would probably go with either the Thrycreen or probably the giant, because I don't think. Can we make Dragonborn? Because I don't think they're.
You
in
can
the
make
set.
anything you want.
Yeah, there's no reason why
Alright.
you can't. We can like
Okay.
the great thing about 4th edition is you can do whatever you want and
Oh.
it works.
Actually, I have another character idea that I would
Well,
like
hold
to
on.
use.
Let's just see if anything like it doesn't have to be an existing character design. I just want you to read off some stuff and see what sparks interest, because I'm going to talk about how to play 4th edition while we make your character.
Okay, just so.
Yeah,
okay,
I really could do it's a whole thing.
Thank you for the follow. Welcome to the
Yo.
Brain.
This is about to be a whole thing. Trust me, okay?
Yeah.
Okay, let's just. Is Thrycreen even an option in there?
Let me cook. So,
Okay.
so we have the basic stock of D&D classes, right? We have cleric. Cleric is of course a healing class, which in 4th edition is called the leader, because not all of them are actual healing. It's they're the ones who
Support.
that's called the leader
Support
class. Yeah, this
utility.
is a support class, support
Yeah.
utility. You have the fighter, who is a defender. What's a defender? A defender is someone who protects their allies. All of the defender classes have some way of actually influencing the battlefield to make sure that you can protect people, something that is woefully lacking in most editions of D&D. This means that for fighter in particular, if an enemy hits an ally and you're next to them, you get to punch them in the face as long as you attacked them last turn. So not only are you just be able to hit things, you actually have the ability to defend your allies.
That's good.
Yeah, and also paladin.
Fighters are so good.
Mm-hmm. Paladin's also a defender, as you might imagine, except that it's divine. You tag a creature with a skill, and then they are at -2 to hit anybody other than you. And if they have the audacity to even try, they take radiant damage. In addition to all their ability. This is just an innate class thing. You get this at level 1.
Oh, that is good. Actually.
Ranger is not a spellcaster in 4th edition. It's better. You actually have cool ranger stuff you can do that are all martial, but martials are fun. 4th edition is a system where martials are fun to play. You have enough spell-like abilities that you can do just as many cool things as the spellcasters.
Mm-hmm.
And the role for ranger, rogue, warlock is striker, i.e. damage dealer. You have warlord. This is one I think that might speak to you. You are a warlord.
Yeah.
This is a martial leader class. You are a type of healer and battlefield controller and support as a martial character. Something that's simply impossible in any other edition.
Jade, please.
Hello,
please
yes.
Please tell Great Dictator the best skill for warlord.
Yes. So the thing with D&D in general, that a lot of people overlook, is that HP is not your physical health. HP represents your ability to fight. If someone runs out of HP, they could be dead, or they could be unconscious, or they could be running away, or if you kill someone with vicious mockery, they no longer have the will to fight. That might be represented as them just falling down crying, or them just surrendering and putting their hands up. Your HP represents your ability to fight, which means that Warlord can heal, i.e., increase your willingness and ability to fight through inspiring words, through through battlefield tactics. The best named ability, in my opinion, is the Warlord healing ability called Rub Some Dirt on It and Get Back in There.
It's so good.
It's so good. Hey, you know how?
Also,
so here,
Warlord
sorry.
class in Dark Sun is so fitting.
Mhm.
Top of
Yeah.
it.
So, we have the divine defender, and we have the divine healer. Why are there not any divine attackers? The Avenger is the blade of a god. You are a paladin who is entirely offensive. You are your god's weapon and your god's blade upon the earth to ensure their will. You are not simply there to proselytize. You are there to strike down heresy. Barbarians are here. Primal being a power source for nature stuff, of course. Which we all get. Trust me, I'll get to the primal stuff in a second. It is so freaking cool. Bard is.
Sounds great.
Okay. Best Bard.
I'm letting. Yeah, you have this. You take the floor.
Okay.
You got this one.
Okay, so Bard is the arcane healer. They're the arcane leader, and the Bard's special thing is that they can multi-class more than once. And so you can get stuff from other places and use it as a Bard, and like Bards are
With
so
your
good
skills.
at manipulating with your skills, and Bards are really good at manipulating the battlefield.
Mm-hmm.
The game I played like 1 to 20 something. My DM had such a problem getting anybody past the fighter because as soon as he would, I just move him right back over there.
He focused on compelled movement.
Yep. A Bard with the subclass of Warlord is just like the most fun thing I think I've ever played in a D&D game ever.
Mm-hmm. So, let's talk Druid, okay?
I love Battle Mind as a name.
Oh yeah. So they split Druid into 3 classes. 3 separate classes are Druid. You have Druid itself, which is what you think of. It's the Wild Shaper. It's the conjure a field of thorns to hinder your enemies. It's Druid. You know how Druid works. I don't need to explain Druid to you. Shaman is the healing Druid. It's Druid minus a bunch of the wild shape and a bunch of the offensive stuff, but focusing on nature heals, on healing spirits, and you instead of having a familiar, you have a totem animal, which is just an ethereal familiar that is immune to anything but magical damage, that can float around the battlefield and give passive bonuses to anybody who's adjacent to it, and then you can still cast through it like a familiar. It's very cool, very fun. And then there's a defender called the Warden. It's the bark skin. I am the tree's strength. I will. You shall not get by me. I shall not allow it. Type of druid. That's its own class now. Warden is the strength of nature and the font of life. It is very cool. Hey, remember how Divine had like the healer and the defender, and then they had like the melee damage dealer, right?
Mm-hmm.
What if you had a battlefield controller who is effectively, how to phrase this? Basically an inquisitor. Invoker is basically an inquisitor. The only thing stronger than my faith is the fire that I will use to burn away those who stand against the will of the gods. Like, they went all in on actually characterizing.
Welcome to Kobold Morning.
Welcome.
No, you're fine. They went all in on actually characterizing the different classes. Like, why wouldn't you have this? Of course you would. If you have a divine class,
You know,
it's not just going to be.
Invoker gives me an idea for, though. That would be fine. Do you remember the Avatar of Menoth?
Yes.
It gives me the mental image of, like, I would love to play an Invoker that is basically the Avatar of Menoth.
Sprig, I just want you to know that I love everything that you're saying right now. Keep going.
So, for people here that aren't familiar, the Avatar of Menoth is a person who was blessed by a deity in their setting. And part of her blessing is that, like, for their faith, she is so without sin, she is incapable of even touching the ground. So, like, her woe is her being held down, like, so that she doesn't just float away by 4 servants with chains around her.
That's actually Harbinger.
Harbinger, sorry, I'm thinking.
Yeah. Yeah. No worries. Yeah, that's Harbinger of Menoth.
Yeah, that was the one I was thinking. Sorry.
But part of her soul is in the Avatar of Menoth, which is actually a giant Escaflowne mech. It really is. It's great.
Yeah. No, that's great.
That one
I
is
love it.
also cool.
I thought you were going to make a Warforged Avatar of Menoth, and I'm like, yes.
No, No, I was thinking
That's
of
good too.
That is good too, but that is not the invoker.
So we also have, of course, Sorcerer, who is, Mystic. We have an entire Psionic set. We have the Psionic Leader, the Battle Mind is a Psionic Defender. Monk is a Psionic Striker, because of course it is. It's not a martial class, it never has been. It's a Psionic class. Rune Priest is here as its own kind of thing. Like, it's kind of like its own sort of power set. Seeker is just Arcane Archer, just straight up. I don't know why they called it Seeker. This is Arcane Archer. It's a standalone class, the way it was in 3.5. Artificer's along for the ride. Assassin is here, which is a non-sneak attack rogue. This is a rogue type of class that focuses on Sword in the Darkness without being entirely built around sneak attack. Because let's be honest, if you're making rogue, it's kind of just the sneak attack generator, right?
Yeah.
And then finally we have one of my favorite classes, the Sword Mage. This is the Arcane Defender. That's right. It's a defender class based on spells, and it's a spell sword. I'm going to place a ward on my allies so that if anybody touches them, I can immediately teleport behind the enemy and nothing personal, kid. Bam, hit him. So, like, the reason I wanted to do this is to give you the design philosophy behind 4th edition going into this, because you've, right now, learned a lot more about the design philosophy of 4th edition just by, me going through gushing about this. So, now you can, what class do you want to do? What are you looking at?
I think I'm definitely looking at Warlord.
I thought, I had a hunch.
So good. So good.
I mean, Battle Mind immediately came to mind as well, but Warlord probably best for my first time doing this.
Oh yeah. What were you saying, Spig? Do you use it, Weeb?
I was saying that basically, like, all of the classes, rather than 5e is like you have all of the classes and then every class is a fundamentally standalone, like, style. And then it's the subclasses that flavor them. 4th edition was, here's 4 primary archetypes, and then your classes are different flavors on that archetype, and then you have subclasses that further refined it. So it was an extra layer in, like, it was an extra layer of identity, basically.
Yeah. So, you have...
Jade, I'm sorry to interrupt you, but I just remembered that 4th edition grappler fighters exist.
Oh my goodness, they're so good.
Oh god.
Grappling has always been fun in, like, almost every system.
Yeah, but grappler fighters are really good.
I wouldn't go that far, but...
I cannot think of a system that I did not enjoy grappling in.
I didn't enjoy it in
that
3.5 personally.
I think that the grappling rules get complicated, and the grappler fighter really, really fixes that.
So, you get to pick which kind of warlord you are. Combat leader gives all of your allies a bonus to initiative. Just everybody's more on their feet. Or, you can give all of your allies a bonus to insight and perception checks. Or...
That is
Sorry, go ahead.
sounding good, but what's that one?
This one gives you an ability instead. It replaces those other options. Gives you a heavy shield proficiency. And once per encounter, whenever you roll initiative, one of your allies can move half their speed. So at the beginning of the fight, someone can just send once per encounter, every encounter.
That means that every encounter, your defender gets to be at the front.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm also kind of considering because of the heavy shield, because I gotta protect myself after all. But at the same time, I like Canny Leader because perception and insight is kind of good in a world where a lot of people probably lying to you.
There's no bad options here.
Yeah, for real.
I want to say canny.
I think that works.
As much as I like the heavy shield and such.
Mm-hmm.
That's a good choice.
There's also
like to say that, as an aside, really quick, Foundry would be a really good system, like Foundry virtual tabletop for running 4th edition in.
I'm down.
Yeah. Probably it would probably also be just easier to find some maps because I think I looked up quickly maps that might be Dark Sun themed, and it's like, there wasn't really enough.
Let's not worry about the Dark Sun necessarily right away.
Yeah.
I know. Fair, I guess.
Oh, by the way, even without the other one, you do have proficiency in heavy shields because heavy and light shields are separate in this.
Oh, okay.
So you do have access to light shields, just you can't use great shields.
Oh no,
without
I
fear.
know. Just like, I just like big shields.
Yeah.
That's
So-
the default mindset.
You get to choose your commanding presence.
Ooh.
An action point. You know what an action point is, right? That's still basically a thing functionally.
Yeah.
It's an action. It's an extra action. If you have an action point, you use an extra. It's inspiration. It's inspiration really, but for the most part, except instead of rerolls, it's an extra action.
Yeah.
And you can
Yeah,
the DM grants it to the players in addition, etc., etc. When an ally you can see spends an action point to make an extra action and uses the action to make an attack, they can choose to use this feature before the attack roll, and if they do, the ally can either make a basic attack or move action for free, and if they miss, they grant combat advantage to all enemies. So if it gives you a free attack or a free move, but if you miss the on your attack, then you are open. You are at -2 to all defenses.
That one is maybe a bit too much, but let's see the rest.
These are all action point triggers. When an ally you can see spends an action point, they gain a bonus to all defenses equal to half your wisdom modifier or half your charisma modifier.
That sounds good.
Inspiring. When they spend an action point, they also regain HP equal to half your level plus charisma.
That's sounding really neato too.
Resourceful. When they spend an action point specifically to make an attack, that attack gains bonus damage equal to half your level plus your int. And if the attack misses, if the attack hits none of its targets, they gain temp HP instead. So even if they miss, they still get a bonus. You're still helping them even if they miss.
That is sounding extremely useful for a scavenger leader.
Skirmishing. When they use an action point to make an attack, they get to shift equal a couple of squares equal to your int or wisdom modifier. A shift is a movement that provokes no opportunity of attacks.
That just sounds that does sound very useful.
And tactical, they gain a bonus to hit equal to half your int modifier when they use an action point.
That one's useful depending on where I put my points. I want to say resourceful presence or inspiring presence are the strongest sounding ones here. For me.
Resourceful keys off of int and charisma. Inspiring just keys off of charisma. Or was it insightful or inspiring? Inspiring, right?
Yeah.
So what do you want your secondary stat to be? Because that'll help determine this.
Okay. So do I get to choose my main and secondary, or is
your
it,
main's gonna
or
be
is one at a
strength.
time?
Your main's gonna be
Okay.
strength because you're playing a warlord.
Fair enough. I kind of. If I'm.
Bravura
say-
has no ties. Sorry.
Yeah, I mean, I always like playing like a relatively smart character or a charismatic character anyway. And you said like resourceful based on int or charisma. You said.
Yep, it's based on both. If they hit, they get damage equal to your int. If they miss, they get damage equal a bonus based on charisma.
I want to say resourceful sounds nice, and I might go into charisma anyway, just for the sake of like my character convinces people to do things his way.
What are you thinking for a race?
You know, I want to go for. Do they have the Trikine in there? Just out of curiosity.
Where are they? They pretty sure they do.
Don't see it.
I know there's rules for it, so we can.
Okay. Let's just say for now, because
It's a bladeling. Honestly, I'd say bladeling would probably be.
I don't think I've seen a bladeling. Oh.
No, I mean mechanically. I mean using this for the rules and then.
I usually like to think of it more in like what is the race like that would be fitting, that would make the most interesting, rather than mechanics first.
No. What I'm saying is you can play a Thrycreen, but you can use this for your
Just use the stats of the bladeling.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
We can just
let's
whirlwind
see
slam the
here.
Dragonborn button, which is always valid.
Listen, I was eyeing that Dragonborn. I'm never not eyeing Dragonborn, if I'm
Okay.
being completely honest with you.
Do you want
But I always-
breath or fear?
Mm.
You can sacrifice your breath attack to.
What does fear do exactly? Just minor action, close burst. I'm guessing close. What does close burst 5 mean?
It's burst is basically the breath attack template. It's yeah.
And
If I remember right, burst is a radius profile. Close burst would be a burst centered on yourself.
yeah,
Not-
that's what I was wondering.
Burst is a blast adjacent to yourself. Blast is centered on self. So burst is adjacent is a AoE adjacent to you. So more like a breath attack.
So yeah, like a breath attack or thunder wave.
Oh no, wait. I'm sorry. The other way around. Blast is that. I'm sorry. I had it backwards. So Dragon Breath is blast 3. This one is burst. So this one is centered on you. Yeah.
So
Never
I
mind.
was
I'm wrong.
right.
You're right.
Okay.
Yep.
What is there anything that enhances the Dragon Breath? Like, I don't know, charisma or will or something?
You get to choose strength, constitution, reflex, or dex.
As in like what they have to roll, or
Yeah, you get to choose what attack modifier you want for the attack for Dragon Breath.
I find it interesting you can choose strength actually.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Makes sense. It's part
might-
of your strength, part of your body.
I might want to go with fear because there's yet again depending I am going with the mindset of like where we're using this character, if I'm being completely honest. Let's go with fear.
Okay. We'll skip backgrounds for now. We'll just whirlwind slam an array. That looks fine. You start with 20 strength, which is always a delight.
That is-
Skill.
Strong.
You get 4 skills.
Is there any that's different from like D&D 5, or is it still? It looks mostly the same.
Mostly the same. Insight's chilling out here.
Yeah. I was actually I want to say insight, intimidate, diplomacy, and I am hovering between. I know it's a wisdom one, which is not my strength here. No, I don't think my guy's the kind of guy to really bluff. If he feels the need to bluff,
Well,
it would
you
be
have
probably-
to choose from the highlighted ones here because those are your class
Oh.
skills.
okay. So I can only use highlighted. Okay.
Yeah. You can get a different ones by changing the background. I'm just not going to worry about that right now.
Yeah. Okay. Let's. I want to say nature for sake of like scavenging and surviving out.
All right, it's not
in a harsh
highlighted.
environment.
Maybe
Oh.
it's hard for you to see what's highlighted here. The options are athletics,
the black
endurance,
text
skill,
ones
history.
are highlighted.
Oh, yeah. It doesn't really look like any are highlighted. All I'm seeing is like white, bronze,
Okay.
white.
Yeah, these are grayed
white
out.
one.
Text
Alright.
color, the gray versus black. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, they're a little bit harder to see.
Yeah.
Okay, so that just leaves me with athletics, endurance,
Heal and history. You get to pick two.
history.
You can get more from
let's-
from your background, but I just kind of skip that over.
Yeah, let's just go. Let's lean into history since I'm making a bit of a smart ass anyway.
Mhm.
Although athletics would be nice, but I want to say he'd probably leave something like that
both.
too. Like,
There you go.
Yeah.
Athletics and history. You're a gym teacher who also teaches history.
That's amazing. So, do you know what an at-will is?
Nat will?
An at-will.
Will.
Oh, at will. No. I'm guessing it's a power I can use whenever.
Yes, it is a non-magical cantrip.
Hmm.
It's a power that you can just do because it's what you do.
So it's essentially it's just an ability.
Yeah,
Effectively.
yeah.
Yeah.
Brash
Yeah.
assault.
Your basic attacks.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Oh,
Let's see what we have.
before we start doing this, let's what weapon do you want to use? Just so it's filled out. Battle axe, broadsword, great sword.
Crack
probably
hammer
want-
sounds fun. Crag hammer sounded fun. You know what? Let's go with halberd. I'm always a big halberd guy.
All
Oh
right.
yes. Yes.
More halberd representation.
That's what we want. We need halberds.
Halberds have reach, which means you can hit enemies that are 2 squares away. So 10 feet.
That's
Good
actually
for me, because my
that's a good
character, he might be able to hit hard, but he doesn't want to get that dirty.
Mm-hmm.
He's got to lead. You can't lead without me.
Okay,
Anyway.
so. One sec.
Yeah.
Brash assault. Strength versus AC, which is normal. Melee,
Uh-huh.
which is exactly what it sounds like. Standard action.
Mhm.
Each turn, you have a standard action, a minor action, and a move action. This is comparable to 5e, where you have an action, a movement, and a bonus action, right?
Mm-hmm.
The difference being is that you can downgrade them. Any
Hmm.
action can be sacrificed to take a move action or a bonus action. A move action can be sacrificed to take a bonus action. You can downgrade your actions. There's no quote-unquote run. Running is just using your move action to using your standard action to move again. So it's just a double move
Mm-hmm.
because the system doesn't need a run anymore.
Mm.
So these are almost all these are going to be standard actions. I just wanted to cover that real quick. Strength versus AC, which you'd expect. Weapon die plus strength mod. Effect: the target can make a melee basic attack against you as a free action, and has advantage for the attack. If the target makes this attack, an ally of your choice within 5 squares of the target can make an attack against them as a free action, and gets advantage for it.
So with that sounds like it will work wonderfully for
Mhm.
a halberdier because they can't fucking touch me
Yep.
if they have a short weapon.
It's baiting the enemy into making an attack against you to set up an ally to attack them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Commander Strike, which low key is one of the best ones in the it is so good.
Mhm.
Oh yes.
Target
Oh,
one
that-
creature. Attack. An ally of your choice makes a melee basic attack on your turn and on your action. You hit him with your stick. Go.
Honestly, that does sound useful, but I would have to respect into. I would have to put points into intelligence then to take the most advantage of
You
that.
have points in intelligence.
Yep, Int's your secondary stat right now.
Oh, okay. I didn't see it because I saw charisma was relatively high.
Yeah.
I didn't see where the other.
This attack is Fezzik, hit him.
I'm a warlord. I
Mhm.
tell people who to hit. That is my job.
and they get bonus damage equal to your int modifier.
Mm-hmm.
Direct the strike. Target makes a melee basic attack as a free action that you can see, and it is within. This one is ranged, so Commander Strike requires you to be next to them. Or, yeah, it means you be in melee. Mm-hmm. Furious Smash. Strength versus Fortitude. That's right, you don't always have to hit against AC. Mm-hmm. On hit, it deals damage equal to your strength, and you can choose an ally adjacent to you or the target. This ally gets gets your charisma modifier as a power bonus to the next attack and damage roll that they make against the target. So you don't do as much damage, but you set up an ally to hit for a more easier hit. Inevitable Wave, Strength versus AC, weapon die plus strength. Until the end of your next turn, any ally who charges the target deals extra damage equal to your int mod. When charging, you can use this as in place of your attack. Charge in, hit them. Oh, by the way, any ally who joins you in the charge, in this battlefield charge, gets a bonus.
Ooh.
How British is that, right? This is just a cav charge, right?
Yeah.
Opening round of combat, go.
Yeah, that actually sounds useful to get like the melee guy in with me, like before he has to actually attack.
Mm-hmm. Intuitive Strike, weapon die damage. Until the start of your next turn, the next ally who attacks the target and has combat advantage gets a +2 bonus to hit. Combat advantage includes flanking, but it can also be other ways of getting it. So they don't call it just flanking because there's other ways of getting combat advantage. Basically, anything that can set up a sneak attack can give you combat advantage. Is a short way to look at it. You push the target a square, then choose an ally you can see. That ally either shifts the number of squares equal to your int mod, or can make a melee basic attack. So it's like Commander's Strike, except you get a push. And you can use it for mobility instead. But you actually have to hit with yours, whereas Commander Strike they just get the attack. This one you have to make a strength versus reflex hit. So it's better, but you have a chance of missing your attack even before they have the chance. So trade-off, right? Paint the Bullseye requires a ranged weapon. Risky Shot's also a ranged one. Rousing Assault. Weapon die plus strength. You add your charisma modifier to the hit points restored with any warlord healing power before the end of your next turn. So set up yourself to heal better.
Okay.
Voipa Strike. Weapon die plus strength. If the target shifts... Basically, remember how shift doesn't provoke opportunity of attack? Viper Strike. You hit him with this, it does now. If the target shifts, you get to make an opportunity attack, even though it's you deny them the ability to shift out. You stop them from disengaging. And Wolfpack Tactics. Before you attack, you let one ally adjacent to either you or the target shift one square as a free action. Weapon die plus strength. This is actually really good in close combat.
Yeah, I was looking at that.
It's a repositioning tool that actually does damage. So you get to pick 2 of these.
Two. Brash Assault sounds excellent for me with my halberd. I want to say Wolfpack. I like Commander's Strike, but sounds like Wolfpack might be a little bit more variable, depending on how many melee we have.
Yeah. You get an encounter power. An encounter power is a power that you can do literally at once per encounter. The best comparison I can think of for this is Power Ranger stuff. Voltron can only form Blazing Sword once per episode, right? These are specialty abilities that you can only do once per encounter, but they do recharge every single encounter. Coordinated Offense. Strength versus AC. If you used your Inspiring Word, which I forgot to mention, you do have. This is your heal. Inspiring Word, you can use this twice per encounter, but only once per round. It's a minor action, so you can still do other stuff. They restore a healing surge and restore an extra d6 of HP. What's a healing surge? I hear you not asking? Well, a healing surge is a quarter of your health. All healing in 4E is based off of your max health. If you're healing somebody, you're healing them based off their max health, so heals work better on people with more base health, because of course they do. That's you're healing somebody who has a higher innate health. It's easier to heal them.
And they
AKA
also
reliance on
automatically
random
heal.
rolls being annoying and taking away, a valuable heal.
Exactly. So it actually means that healing is not just a flat dice roll. It is also dependent. So who's taking damage becomes an actual consideration for a class like Warlord or Cleric, where it's like, okay, I want the beefy guy to be the one actually defending us because I can heal them straight up for more health. It also makes some of the defenders a bit higher value because some of the defenders have higher health pools. In other words, Sword Mage is not that high HP. The Arcane Defender, compared when you can put them side by side with a Warden who is just a tree. It's like. So you get this. This is just a thing that you do. Yeah.
That's.
It's healing surge plus d6. Anyways, if you used an inspiring word this turn, you get a +2 bonus to hit on this attack. Weapon die plus strength. One ally adjacent to you can or the target can shift as a free action, and then you slide one ally adjacent to you or to the target one square to an adjacent square with an enemy. So you can you get two repositions. You get to reposition an ally, and then you get to slide one ally again. So you get to a whole bunch of repositioning. It's coordinated offensive. Of course it is. It's coordinated. It's offensive. Diabolic Stratagem. Strength versus Reflex. Hitting against Reflex is pretty good. Weapon plus Strength. The target is marked until the end of your next turn, meaning if they attack anybody other than you, they're at -2 to hit them. That's what a mark is. That's what all the defenders use. It's pay attention to me. This is basically giving you a defender skill, saying no, eyes on me. You got to deal with me first.
Yeah, I don't want that. Someone else that has to get hit.
Fair.
That's their job.
Guarding attack. Two weapons die. So 2d10 plus strength. Until the end of your next turn, one ally adjacent to you or the target gets a +2 power bonus to AC against that target's attacks. So you're disrupting their attacks. You're attacking and then disrupting them to protect your allies.
That sounds useful.
Hammer and Anvil.
Classic.
Strength versus Reflex. Weapon die plus strength. An ally adjacent to the target makes a melee basic attack as a free action. So you hit it, deal damage, and then an ally can hit it and deal damage. So it's just hammer and anvil. I hit him, you hit him.
Sounds appropriate for my character. Let's keep going.
Hammer formation requires you to be using a heavy thrown weapon. Because throwing builds are actually pretty cool in this. Like, they're not just rangers. You can actually do warrior and warlord
I kind of noticed. I kind of noticed throwing stuff in a lot of other things tends to be a lot tamer than it should be, depending on the setting.
Yeah.
Like, I improvise a lot of stuff to throw at an enemy.
Yeah.
And it's always
having a pack of javelins is entirely valid in 4E. Like, legitimately. Yeah. Leaf on the Wind. Strength versus AC. 2 weapon die plus strength. You or an ally adjacent to the target swaps places with the target. So more of a finesse sort of thing. It's almost like a little bit of a fencer flourish where you get to clash and change positions with them.
Useful, but way too specific for the situations of like I gotta swap out my ally with myself in order to save them from risking a hit kind of situation. It's not that not specific. It's not that super specific, but it's specific enough.
One little counterpoint I will make a note of: this is actually even better with a halberd because you can do it from farther away than you would otherwise because you have the reach weapon.
Oh, that is true.
Is that because a swap positions could be more useful than a than a push one.
Yeah.
I mean, it's also 2 weapon die, which is nice. Weapon die, strength versus fortitude. Weapon die plus strength. Choose another enemy within 5 squares and pull it 1 square. If you have bravura presence, pull the enemy a number of squares equal to your charisma modifier. So the choices you made about what type of warlord you are will come into play once in a while. Which,
if I can remember it.
Well, you are resourceful.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Myrmidon requires you to be using a shield, 2 weapon die plus strength, and at the start of your next turn, each ally gains 5 temp HP, but you have to be using a shield, and halberds are 2-handed. Nimble footwork is 2 weapon die plus strength, and you can shift a square. After you shift, an ally within 2 squares can shift as a free action. There's a lot of similarities in between these, but they are all distinct, right? Like, there's a lot of things that you can easily say are similar, but if you looked at a power, you could tell if it was a warlord power or a fighter power based on how it's designed. But a lot of them are based on repositioning because the warlord is about, battlefield control and manipulating the angles and positions.
Yeah.
Here's a nice one. It's an interrupt. It's a action economy. It triggers when an ally
activated my trap card.
Trigger an ally in the burst, so an ally within 3 of you makes a melee basic attack. Effect: the target uses one of their melee at will powers instead of a melee basic attack. If they hit, they're also dazed. Dazed means they only get to choose 1 action on their turn. They have to choose standard, minor, or move instead of having all of them. Pincushion is ranged. Powerful warning. Also an interrupt. Triggers when an ally is hit by an enemy. The target gains a +2 to all defenses, and they can make a punch the target for free.
That's powerful warning. Just makes it sound. You ain't getting that, especially in the setting that I'm taking this guy. If you don't dodge this one and kicking one in the shit in, you're not getting food tomorrow.
Yeah. Provocative order. That gives an ally a charge attack as a free action that deals an extra weapon die of damage. If you have a barbarian, that's a D12, mind you, at least. If you have a raging barbarian, that's like a D12 plus 4 bonus. Like
that just sounds like Plankton yelling, "Do it because I told you to. Doing it because you told me to."
I said hit them harder. Range attack. Strength versus AC, 2 weapon plus strength until the end of your next turn. While you have combat advantage against the target, and again, you're a warlord, so you will almost always be able to flank with all of your positioning skills. All of your allies do extra damage equal to your charisma modifier. Shielded assault.
Yeah, that just sounds like I have to put into that one. But we'll see more. Let's see more.
Yeah. Also, we can change around these stats however we want.
Yeah, obviously.
Shielded assault requires a shield, but it gives you and your allies. It gives you a +2 to AC, and your allies get a +2 AC while adjacent to you. So you get to actually, shield up.
Shield wall.
Strength with AC, 2 weapon die plus 5, so again, 2 weapon. The next time an ally hits the target before the end of your turn, that ally can slide the target 2 squares, shift 2 squares, or deal 4 extra damage. Just take your pick.
Slide the target 2 squares, shift 2 squares, or deal 4. Yeah, that actually sounds a lot more the most versatile one so far.
It's also a 2-weapon die attack, which is nice.
Oh. Yeah, that sounds. That one's, I think, one of the more promising ones. So
Yeah, there's only 2 more. Vengeance. Trigger an enemy hits you. You hit them, and then an ally can hit them too. How dare you?
How dare you?
And favor. Strength versus AC, 2-weapon plus strength. An ally within 5 squares gets +2 to their next attack roll against that target. Tactical presence. The bonus of the attack rolls is 1 plus your int mod, which is what you have, so this would actually be a +3 bonus.
Mm-hmm.
And by the way, this is across all the books. I have all the books loaded into this, by the way.
Nice. So I'm looking at Hammer and Anvil, Tactician's Invitation, or Warlord's Favor.
Yeah. Warlord's Favor, it is nice. Invitation is the most versatile, and Hammer and Anvil. Honestly, I think... Yeah, Hammer and Anvil is the most attacks, is the most damage, potentially.
Since it's only like once per encounter, I think Tactician's Invitation might have to take that just because it's versatile.
Yeah.
So
it's always going to be uswiseful, right? This one you don't know what it'll do, but it'll always be useful. And it's got some damage.
I might need to get an ally out of a bind. We might need it to finish off the guy, etc., etc. So I want to say Tactician's Invitation sounds the most appropriate.
All right. Daily powers. Guess what those do?
I get them. I can use them once a day.
Good job. With again, day in my games are defined by combat cycles. Like this is this is once per 3 encounters rather than like the way I usually run it. It's until you're able to be in a safe place and fully rest for the night, sort of thing. You know.
I see.
Yeah. Bastion of Defense. 3 weapon die plus 3d10 plus 3d10 plus 5. And all allies within 5 of you gain a +1 bonus to all defenses until the end of the encounter. And even if you miss, effect. This is not on hit. Effect. All allies within 5 squares of you gain temp HP equal to 5 plus charisma.
I like it.
So just right out of the gate, I just want to make sure that you follow that daily powers aren't messing around. Calculated assault. Strength versus AC, weapon die plus strength. One of your allies within 5 squares of you gains a power bonus equal to damage rolls against the target equal to 1 plus your int mod until the end of the encounter. You can transfer the bonus to another ally as a minor action. It has to hit, but it does have reliable, meaning that if you miss, you don't lose the skill. You can do it again.
Ooh. Squares of you gains a power bonus to damage rolls against the target.
That's +3 damage. You put that on somebody who hits multiple times, like a ranger or like a monk, and good night. Like monk flurry of blows, boom, boom, boom. Constipated attack. Strength with AC, 2 weapon die plus strength. one ally within 10 squares you can make a basic attack as a free action. The ally gains a bonus to your attack roll equal to your int mod. Honestly, not that good compared to some of the other banana stuff. In my opinion.
Yeah.
Create a target. Strength versus AC with 2 weapon die plus strength. Push the target a number of squares equal to your int mod. Whenever a push, pull, or slide forces the target to move, one of your allies can hit them. Save ends. So they can try to save against each turn.
Miss half damage.
Does half damage on a miss. So anytime you push a target, which you've seen while Warlord powers run, anytime you force movement, you get to punch. Basically, it's letting you make opportunity attacks on forced movement, which is usually illegal. Destructive surprise.
I like being illegal.
Destructive surprise. You give this you hand this power to an ally. One ally can choose strength, dex, or strength or dex. It's against reflex. The ally can shift 2 squares and deal 3 weapon die plus whatever their modifier is. So it's basically a enormous command strike. It's here. Use this when you need it. Again, battlefield commander, right?
Yeah.
I told you to hit them harder. Expert timing, strength versus AC, 2 weapon die plus strength. You and each ally you can see gain a plus 5 feet speed until the end of the encounter. That's a lot, actually, right? Like, that's not insignificant. And if you miss, you get it until next turn, anyways.
So like you can see gain +1 bonus to speed until the end of the encounter is a strong thing.
Yep.
And I will tell you that movement is much more important in 4th edition than in any other version of D&D.
I can imagine.
Like, yeah. Fearless Rescue. Attack is strength +1 versus AC, so this is inherently a more accurate attack than most other attacks. This is an out-of-activation attack. Trigger, an enemy within 5 of you reduces an ally to 0, so when an ally goes down. Before the attack, you can move to the nearest square from which you could attack the target, which is actually really well worded, meaning that with a halberd, you don't have to go adjacent to them.
Yeah.
I ran a sword mage with a halberd for that because things of that kind of wording, where it's like, okay, I don't have to teleport next to them, I can teleport near them. The ally can also immediately spend a healing surge and gain an extra d6 for every opportunity attack that you provoke while moving towards them. Fearless Rescue. They drop, you run towards them. If you get free strikes while running towards them, every free strike gives you an extra d6 heal and they get back on their feet. They're down, you get them back up, guaranteed. This is not on hit. This is effect. This is guaranteed. It's so cool. You see why I'm liking this. You see why I'm... Okay, it's fine. Okay, fine.
The problem for me is gonna be the amount of time until I get used to it, so I can remember that I have it.
But just reading through the abilities, you kind of get a feel for what the game, how the game runs. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's a lot more tactical, obviously, with a lot more options.
Yes.
It feels more similar to a tabletop war game in some respects.
I'd go as far as to say to a board game. Also, chat ban anybody who says it's a video game. Just straight out. That's a standard rule on my stream.
Yeah, that's fair.
It's an old tired argument that does not hold water. But yeah, it's more board gamey. That's part of why combat's more fun, is because combat is more board gamey. It runs faster as well. There's a lot that you have to keep track of, and that is the most fair criticism of 4th edition ever.
I would argue it runs a lot slower typically because of all the bookkeeping.
I never had a problem with that because the policy that when I DM is you keep track of your own effects, not me. If you have an effect on something, remember it. When it comes up, remind me. Easy as, and it reduces things a lot.
The problem that we had with the group that I played with was every time that the DM would start to do something, it's like, oh, I've got this, I've got this, I've got this, I've got this, I've got this. It's like 5 different things or 6 different things would pop off with every single action that anyone took.
Yeah, that can happen, but...
So every time it was the I have dark vision moment.
Yeah.
Every time that you took an action, it took 4 times as long because everyone had to remind everyone about their own abilities.
I think that's a really good comparison, because once you're into a campaign with people, eventually you just know who has dark vision and it stops coming up. And the same thing in this. That's actually, I think, a great comparison.
For me, yet again, it depends on how
I
simple the
think a
things are.
virtual tabletop would help it immensely.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
Yeah, a virtual tabletop helps, like, keep things simpler.
Mhm.
There's also, I mean, I'm not against like certain complications or changes. One setting I played in essentially had gunfire and guns, but the GM wanted to kind of limit it. So there's always a chance that you, like, if it rolls on that one, you essentially had to after every shot, I think you had to roll, like, to see if you like lose all your bullets or something.
Oh,
I forgot
jeez.
what the I forgot what the justification was.
Some sort of
essentially.
misfire.
Yeah.
But essentially, I convinced him that the first shot of every fresh reload is, you don't have to worry about that nonsense, because I was getting very sick of the concept of, like, I literally
Yeah.
just reloaded. How did I lose
Yeah.
all my bullets?
It already
No.
misfired. Lamb
Well,
to
and
the
it was easy enough.
slaughter.
It was easy enough to remember as well.
Lamb to the slaughter. You pull the strength versus will. You pull the target 5 squares, and 1, 2, or 3 allies that are within 5 of you who have line of sight and can hear and see you can all charge it. You bait an enemy to overstep, and then all of your allies can just jump him. This is also fantastic as an out of combat initiation. Like, your allies can start hidden with you going, come at me, and then just, yeah, no, this is not just a mid combat thing. You can do this, as also it is reliable, which is nice.
Reliability is an important factor.
It is. It's a nice thing. Most of the ones that aren't reliable do something on a miss, which is so all the daily powers will usually go off in some way. Anyways. Before the attack, you can shift a square with 2 weapon die plus strength. Your allies gain combat advantage against the target until the end of your next turn. So just everybody get combat advantage bonuses. Everybody has flanking bonuses.
Shift 1 square and make basic attack. Ooh, that's a good one for a miss.
Yeah? It's still good on a miss, yeah. Lead the attack, 3 weapon die plus strength. And then until the end of your next turn, each ally within 5 of you gains a bonus to attack rolls against the target equal to your int. 1 plus your int, rather. It's basically a daily power version of that 1 encounter power that you skipped. It's just stronger. Because you're hitting for literally 3d10 plus 5, my goodness.
And each ally within 5 squares will gain +1 power bonus to attack rolls against the target.
On a miss. So on a miss it's +1, on a hit it's +3.
Yeah, that sounds really good.
And it's 3 weapon die, which is so good. By the way, all of the barbarian rages are daily powers that give you an effect that lasts the rest of the encounter. And then they just have different rages, like, rage of the bear, rage of the hawks, and so on. They give you different effects for the entire encounter. So you get to pick what flavor your rage is. 2 weapon die plus strength reliable. As a free action, 1 ally you can see can hit them with a +2 power bonus to hit. That's okay, but yeah. Orchestrated offensive. Strength AC, weapon die 5. Choose 2 different allies within 5 that can hear you and see you. Each ally can make a charge attack, make a basic attack, or shift their full speed as a free action. Allies that choose to charge cannot attack the same creature that you targeted, so you have to split up. Pin. 3 weapon plus strength. Until the end of the encounter, the target cannot shift if at least 2 allies are adjacent to it. So they cannot disengage.
Sounds good for pinning down a guy and separating them.
It's literally called Pin the Foe. Relentless Wounding. A reliable 3 weapon die attack. I could just stop right there. That's already good. Until the end of the encounter, your allies gain a power bonus to damage rolls equal to your int or wisdom mod. So all allies +2 to hit, 3 weapon die plus strength, reliable. What's not to like, right?
Yeah. I think that's gonna be the winner here, if I'm being completely honest, because that's
it's real good. It's just everything you want, right?
yeah, especially like pick out the main threat, concentrate damage on him.
Yeah, it's not as much bonus damage as the other one that did a similar effect, but it's reliable, so you always win. Yeah.
Yeah, it's throughout the entire encounter. That is over time benefit.
Well, and the reliable is like, even if you miss, you still get to use it again.
Yeah. With the other one had an effect on miss though, which means that you could do something. You still did something. It's a trade-off, right? Yeah, you can use it again for a full effect, but the other one still did something on a miss, meaning you could do something else. White Raven, Strength AC, 3 weapon die plus strength. You slide an adjacent ally 1 until the end of the encounter. Whenever you or an ally within 10 makes a successful attack, the attacker slides an adjacent ally 1 square. So basically, you all work as like, you know, a hockey team, and can all you know, can advance off of each other's motions. So relentless.
Yeah.
So this is fun. Utility powers. Utility powers are great. These are non-combat powers. Some of them are combat. This one looks like it's combat, actually. Until the end of your next turn. Yes, okay, so this one is. They gain a damage equal to your int mod. Or saving throw bonus equal to your charisma mod. Or in your case, both. Weren't you resourceful? No, you were... I forget, whatever. Aid the injured. Gives you an extra type of heal. Just straight up, you have an extra heal. Touch an ally, they can spend a healing surge. Standard action, though. So it's just... yeah.
+1 racial bonus to attack rolls when you're bloodied.
That's just listed on everything. That's just, yeah.
Okay.
Everything Dragonborns do, if you're at bloodied, means half health. If you're below half health, Dragonborn gets a +1 racial bonus to every attack roll you make. Full stop. All of them.
All of them.
Nice.
Covering maneuver. Triggers when someone uses a second wind, and they can also shift and mark an enemy as a part of their second wind action, which is good because usually when a defender is using a second wind, they're not, you know, marking an enemy. They're not engaging an enemy effectively, right? Except for wardens, because they're wardens. They always can just entangle their roots against an enemy because they're trees. You see. Warden's cool, okay?
Wardens are amazing.
I like the one coming up, Crescendo of Violence.
Crescendo of Violence is so good. I definitely used that one with my bard, and yes, definitely because it was called that. Because
I mean, I would have too. If I'm being honest.
Yeah. Hold on. So what were you saying about Warden?
Wardens are invincible. You can't kill a warden. That doesn't happen.
They're beastly. Oh, they're not. They're
wild. No, they do get beastly. Like that's their daily power thing, is they get beastly.
Oh, that's right. They do have some beast forms as well. Yeah.
Yeah.
I forgot because I only played with someone who had the tree form version, so I just always think of the tree just being like, I'm invincible, and also entangling all the people around me, and also deal with it. You should.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Crescendo of Violence. Someone scores a crit, they gain temp HP. Just 3.
I mean, that's good, but a bit. I don't like
a bit.
It can really make a difference because damage matters.
That's because your charisma was like +5 or something.
That is very much true. Yes.
it's one of those abilities that's better as a bard than as its base class.
It's just that the name sounded so much better than what I thought the effect would be.
For real. Adjustment, you hit an enemy with an attack. one ally can shift as a free action. Again, this is kind of Warlord's thing. It's battlefield maneuvering. That's their whole thing is, battlefield mobility. You can give someone their second wind. Second wind usually takes a standard action, so it's you that. So if someone, and it gives you a plus bonus to all defenses. So it's both a full defense action and a self heal action. This means that you can use it on somebody else. You can give them their second wind for them without using their action, using your action instead, and minor action at that. It's actually really good. It's actually it's actually really nice. Oh, an enemy that you hit with an at will attack, you can just knock them to the floor. They just knock them prone, or push them a bit. Just dumpster them.
Honestly, that sounds useful for me to do it from behind an ally.
It's actually really good. It's so good. And yeah, and anybody who's prone is auto hit on all melee attacks.
Oof.
Hasty alert. Gosh, Druid and Wizard in this system are just absolutely brutal at getting enemies to be just on the floor. It's so good. Actually, wait. Oh, who is it? It was Invoke. Is it one of the Invoker powers? The Inquisitor class. One of the Invoker powers, makes the enemy go prone by forcing them to kneel before you. It's like,
Yeah.
oh,
Yes. Oh, it's so good.
It's so cool. Hasty alert, daily on a surprise round. No, it's not. A surprise round begins. No, it doesn't.
Have you considered no?
Mm-hmm. Heroic effort. If you are bloodied, which Dragonborn are happy with because they get bonuses,
I love to be bloodied.
you get charisma bonus to your damage rolls until you're not. And oh, by the way, that's each ally.
Ooh.
You have to be bloodied, but all of your allies get this. It is a daily as opposed to Flash of Insight being an encounter, but which is a balance.
Mm-hmm.
God, I want to make a joke, but I'm not sure if it's stream appropriate.
Oh no.
Well, I found it offensive already, so.
It starts with the letter E, so I'm just gonna leave it there.
Everyone, make sure you take your estrogen today.
Yeah, I was like, it's Stradiol, right? It's Stradiol. It's the only word that begins with E.
Minor action, target one enemy that is already being flanked, already is granting combat advantage. And you know what? They actually grant combat advantage to everybody instead. You extend the flanking bonus, if you will, to all of your allies instead of just the ones in flanking. Flanking requires you to actually be opposite your target. It's not adjacent like it is in 5th edition. Because 4th edition has so much more focus on movement, just being adjacent to something isn't good enough. You have to be opposite to be able to flank. Which I actually think works well with the amount of movement. I mean, obviously Warlord's movement options are like the best in the entire game.
Mm-hmm.
Well, yeah.
Like genuinely, like Warlord has better movement, has more movement abilities than anyone. But in general, 4E has a lot more movement options. So having flanking be actually opposite of each other is fair because you can still get there and, manipulate that.
That's what it is in 5th edition as well.
I thought. Okay, no, that's right. It is.
Opposite.
It's
You know what?
Baldur's
Okay.
Gate 3, it's not. Is what it is.
But flanking is an optional rule.
Yeah.
Baldur's
You know
Gate
what's?
3 doesn't have flanking because it's an optional rule.
Do you?
I'm actually surprised that it's an optional rule in this system.
Yeah, not in 4th. It's mandatory. You know what? You know what messes me up, Sprig? In 5th edition, you can sneak attack by being adjacent to a target.
Yes.
Yeah,
Just having an ally adjacent to the target makes it possible to sneak attack them.
In 4th edition, you have to flank to sneak attack.
Hmm.
So, That's why I mess that up so often. Knight's move. One ally moves. Just go to it. Trigger. An enemy's hit by your attack. Until the end of your next turn, anybody who spends an action point to make an attack against the enemy gets about +2 to their attack roll. Just get him. Motivated recovery. One bloodied ally regains the use of their second wind and gains a power bonus to their next attack.
Second
We're coming up to
gain or bonus to his. Okay, that sounds good because that gives them like more second wins, which means more attacks.
Yeah, it is a daily though. Reckless opportunity. One enemy in burst, and you or one ally. The targets make opposed initiative checks in the middle of battlefield. In the middle of battle, the winner gains combat advantage against the loser until the end of the winner's turn. Just, yeah.
Opposed initiative check. The winner. Wait, the targets make an opposed initiative check. The winner gains combat advantage against the loser until. Oh, that sounds very useful. Yet again, more stacking against the single against the main targets. Might have to go with that actually, but we'll see. We'll see the rest.
Everyone can shift one, which is just everybody gets a little bit of free maneuverability.
Everybody gets one.
Yep. By the way, you can use your. Yep.
Yeah.
By the way, the way so a shift is a movement that doesn't provoke an attack of opportunity, of course, and you can sacrifice your move action to shift one instead of you moving. So that's saying anybody can sack their move action to shift one. So the disengage and run in 4th edition is move action to shift one, and then standard action to move away. Is the same the same how the mechanics of it plays out.
Yeah.
I mean, as opposed to 5e where you actually have the disengage action and then the move action sort of thing. Rub some dirt on it. You or a bloodied ally gains a stack of temp HP.
I feel like that's pretty close to what was the one I wanted to, either heroic effect or reckless opportunity.
Shake it off. Someone else can make a saving throw. Saving throws are like against poisons, against lingering effects, against bleeds as well. Some cripples that affect movement, or like some magical slows are saving throws against magical stats to shake off a lingering effect. Spur to action. Trigger, you roll initiative. Effect, do it again.
Each target can re-roll.
Yeah, you and allies within 10 may re-roll initiative basically, but must use the second result.
These are based on your skills. So, if you have athletics, therefore you can take bounding leap, which gives you a +5 bonus to an athletics check. You consider to have a running start, and you can jump farther than your speed as a encounter action, as an encounter move action. So a buff to all of your jumping abilities based off on athletics. A history. You make a knowledge check using a skill other than history. No, you don't. This is what Magus has in Pathfinder. This is almost exactly Magus's ability.
Yeah, sounds like it.
Diplomat. You make a diplomacy check and you dislike the result. I love that that's the wording. You make a diplomacy check and dislike the result is the trigger.
Before the DM announces the result, you can use whichever result you prefer. I kind of wanted to go immediately for that.
I think so. We'll go through the rest, but that one, that's got to be it, right?
Yeah, I like my charisma checks to be consistent.
Ominous threat. You hit the enemy with a melee attack and you mark them. This is for anybody who has intimidation trained. So meaning that anybody who can intimidate can get a mark effect, which is actually pretty crazy. Perfect recall. You can make a history in place of any intelligence check.
That might actually be good, depending on like. But for now, I obviously have enough intelligence.
Trigger. You see or hear a language you don't understand. Effect. You can understand, read, speak, and write until the end of the encounter.
I'm sorry. I'm just like trying to think. Someone bonks me on the head. Oh, hey, I know how to write now.
Well, it's a mage thing. It's basically a flash cast of a comprehend languages ritual, which would usually take 10 minutes. It's just like no. you just snap it in.
Or as an alternative example, you like.
Yeah, but also my character
stumble through do you speak this language? This one? How about this one? Until they find what.
Yeah, however you want to flavor it.
Yeah, but it's like the fact that my character isn't a mage. That just means like he just suddenly learned how to write. Essentially.
Scrambling climb.
Travel dictionary.
Make an athletics check to climb with +5. If you succeed, you can climb your speed +2. You can go straight up a wall. Soothing words. When each target spends one or more healing surges during a short rest, he or she regains an additional hit points equal to your charisma, with as a diplomacy skill for in-between encounters. So you do have a limited number of healing surges based on your class. Which I like because it means that all healing goes off the healing surge, because that's what ties to your HP, right? Well, you also have a number of healing surges. And what this is the number of times that it is possible and safe to be magically healed before it just is too dangerous to force more magical healing into somebody.
Or, the maximum amount of dirt you can rub into it.
This is true. Like
The amount of dirt that you can rub into it before you start to make a brick.
Yeah.
Dirk the dirt. You don't want to get him as commander. He'll just rub a lot of dirt in.
The amount that you can heal a paladin is significantly more than the amount that the wizard can handle in healing. Just like their body shuts down after a certain amount, which I actually think is a good balance point.
Yeah, honestly.
Ooh.
You make a history check, and you can give your history check as your initiative result. For everybody.
Yes, I am smarter, therefore I am sure to win.
Yeah, battlefield strategist.
Yeah.
And it's like, that's cool, because that guarantees that your whole party moves on the same initiative, which means you can choose your party's activation order as well.
Oh, yeah.
It's actually not bad.
Yeah. That's really good.
Remind me, how much can I use utilities?
They're all different.
That one is a daily power.
That one's a daily.
Once per day.
Like, that's super
What
powerful.
about Master Diplomat?
Is encounter.
Oh, so when you say encounter here, does that mean like every conversation I can potentially use it, but if it's with a different person, of course.
As long as you're not as long as you can take like 5 minutes between it, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. I want to still go with Master Diplomat. I like Strategist Epiphany, but I'll probably something I'll get like later.
So I'm not. So actually, I'm going to go into it right now. This is your level 2 utility. I'm going to pull up the level 3 encounter powers, and guess what? You can choose any of the level 1 encounter powers if you want it instead of one of the level 3s. The higher level encounter powers are almost always better, but if there's one that you missed, if we get to level 6 and you want to take the other level 2 utility power, you can. It might just be better because it's good and stuff.
I mean, the important part is that you can still take them.
So So like we can keep going
yeah.
if you want. If you're having fun, if
Yeah,
you're having
well,
fun and you
yeah,
want to see
well,
another set here.
I want to say let's just quickly wrap this
Yeah.
up. We'll just pick a cool sounding one, I guess.
Yeah. Strength versus
Let's
fortitude.
talk
Knock him prone. Go. Also, an ally can punch him. It's I just imagine this is like hitting them with the hilt of your spear and just being like bam, and then your ally just comes up and kicks him in the ribs.
So with a halberd, all I'm imagining is like I pull my halberd underneath my ally, I yoink the enemy by the leg so he falls down, and then I tell my ally, hey, kick him in the nut.
But again, this is versus fortitude, not versus AC. So if you have an enemy with a high AC, you can still get him to the ground and make him easy for your allies to hit, which is extremely useful. Because guess what? All these tools, not all the abilities, of course, but all of the tools that I talked about with with battlefield techniques and rolls. Oh, the enemies get those too. Enemies can mark you, saying that you have to attack that enemy, and you'll be at -2 if you try to go past them and hit the squishy archer.
Don't like that. Don't like that.
Pick one or two. The way I usually run it is I run the enemies to be as intelligent as their intelligence would allow. So wolves will usually ignore marks and just go for the throat, whereas a mind flayer is probably going to be doing a tactical, a much more tactical specific attack.
I want to say Battering Command and Martial Doom sound good.
Martial Doom. Strength versus AC, 2 weapon plus strength. Target grants combat advantage to all of your allies until your next turn. Any ally that hits the target with an attack gained from an action point deals an extra 5.
Yeah, I was correct on that one.
And then
Let's
just
go with that one.
Warlord 5 powers. Oh, a stance! That's fun! Minor action. Until the stance ends, whenever an enemy adjacent to you attacks an ally of yours and misses, you deal damage to them equal to their int mod as a free action.
Haha, you are smart. That means you're gonna be able to think about how much more this hurts.
No, well, it's intelligence isn't seeing the opening. It's you have to be adjacent to them. So it's any time that they miss, you find the opening to get a poke in. Just a minor damage poke.
Oh, okay.
And then that's
for a second there I thought, no, okay, I misheard you for some reason. Equal to your intelligence. I heard it to there.
Oh, by the way, if they're marked by your defender, instead of doing 2 damage, you deal full weapon die damage if you have a tactical presence.
Yeah, weapon die plus intelligence mod.
Which is insane. Anyways, if you want to pick another one or two, I just wanted to highlight a stance. You can only have one stance active at a time, obviously, and that's just what they look like.
What's Pike Hedge, real quick?
Yeah, the name is just fun.
Yeah.
Trigger. It's a daily power that's an immediate reaction. Oh boy. Triggers when they enter your reach. Weapon die plus 5. Whenever an enemy enters a square adjacent to you or an ally adjacent to you, you can deal damage equal to your strength modifier as an opportunity action.
Yeah, I'd say that sounds fairly appropriate for my character. You dared enter my range? Stay back, I'm an introvert. Personal space.
Villain's nightmare. 3 weapon die plus strength until the end of the encounter when you are adjacent to the target and it walks or runs. No, it didn't.
Yeah, that sounds good too.
Anyways, there's a lot of amazing feats that are class-based, that are racial-based, or that are just any martial, or that are anything. There's a billion feats, and a lot of them are interesting and good. There's also multi-classing is done by feats. Because of the power system, you can't take a level in another class. You can use a feat to multi-class into wizard, and which lets you swap one of your encounter powers for a wizard encounter power. And then as you multi-class more, you gain more of their powers that you can use in addition to your own or in place of your own.
That's not even a swap. That's just a gain a wizard power.
This is gaining a cantrip as an encounter power, and then the next one lets you swap out one of your encounter powers for a wizard encounter power. Yeah, because it's you take more levels in it. Mm-hmm. But yeah, this is a cantrip as an encounter power. But one thing that's cool about this, hey look, Bravo multi-class. Bravo's not a class, but you can multi-class into it, which I think is super cool. They can add half classes. They can add classes that are not classes, but they have a couple of powers that let you multi-class into it. Net training is a multi-class feat. You gain proficiency with the net, and when you hit a target with the net, they're slowed. If you have this, then your next ability gives you a net power, but Net Fighter is not in the game, but even though you can multi-class into it. There's a couple of things like that, which I think is really neat. But then you just have the different types of multi-class. So you can multi-class into Warrior either by Brawling or Cyclone. Either one of these will multi-class you into Fighter. That's 4th edition, and I think honestly this is the best way to teach people how to play, because you learn so much about what gameplay looks like by seeing what powers do.
Yep.
I've said this before. I'm definitely much better by just like playing and then memorizing it through that way.
Yeah, but this was fun.
Sure, but like this is fun, and now you know something about it.
Yeah, that's really the whole point. But like, just for quick comparison points here, something like Shaman, let's say Eagle Shaman. Watcher. If we just into this real quick, just to get to powers. Vastly different. The defending strike is melee spirit 1, because remember you have a little totem spirit. It makes the attack, not you. You use your action, and the attack comes through them, and hits them and grants an ally a bonus to AC, as long as it's adjacent to the spirit, or that grants combat advantage to an ally if you hit with this one, or just actually does solid damage. But then your spirit companion can flank with you and your allies, which it usually can't do because it's incorporeal. Well, it allows it to be able to flank. So like,
Spirit companion is so cool.
Completely different skill set, completely different style. Still clearly a druid, but now you have a healing spirit that heals an ally that's adjacent to your spirit companion, not you. Whereas Warlord has to be next to the ally you're healing. This one you can send to your spirit companion. Cleric can just point at a target and heal them for most of their stuff.
Yeah, and like, as far as healing goes, clerics are the best at it.
Oh yeah, hands down. And you can go against class stuff. Like, you can take a paladin and build it as a healer if you want to be weird about it. Like, that can work. There's nothing that stops you from doing that. It's not like you're hard set into the rules. It's a little bit more finagly, and you'll need to take some feats to clean up some of the loose, if you actually want to do that as your main thing. But like, that is, you can go against roll in this, which is not true of a lot of RPGs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
God, wardens are bonkers.
Wardens are so good. It's neat how like each of the different defenders has a different feeling to them. Fighters are, if you want to be extremely sticky and also do damage.
Mm-hmm.
Wardens are, if you want to just like, nothing will ever kill you, ever.
So, Warden's Grasp. Wait, yeah. Warden's Grasp. An enemy marked by you that is within 5 of you makes an attack that doesn't include you as a target. You get to slide them a square, and they're slowed, and they can't shift. Oh, I'm sorry, was it a melee attack? That attack no longer works because it's an interrupt, and you are they are now no longer adjacent to the target, No, you're not allowed to do that. Warden's Fury. An enemy marked by you makes an attack that doesn't include you as the target. Just punch him. Just punch him and give your allies combat. Just absolutely lay into them. Just go for the face. Oh, by the way, you need to mark the target. How do you do that? Just end your turn next to them.
Yep.
That's it. If you end your turn, anybody who's next to you is marked by you because you are this. You go through the ground, radiate your defensive mark towards anybody who is adjacent to you. That's just how you just are a mark. You're just a walking mark. Whereas fighter has to hit enemies to do it, and
you're absolutely getting scammed.
Form of Mountain's Thunder. Personal polymorph. You assume the guardian form of the Mountain's Thunder until the end of the encounter. While you are in this form, you gain resist 3 to all damage, +1 bonus to AC. Once per round, when you hit an enemy with a melee attack, each enemy marked by you takes thunder damage equal to your strength modifier. Like, oh my god, that's cool!
That is cool.
And then it does more! But like, jeez. Sorry, I Wardens are cool.
Wardens
I agree.
Oh,
I was thinking about making a warden this time if I was going to be doing a character.
No lie, I made a warden during this.
Amazing. But yeah, Sword Mage, you get a defensive ward to place on your allies. I'm sorry, you place a defensive ward. You place a magical defensive ward on your enemy that stops them from attacking your allies. You don't place it on your allies to defend them. You actually place it on the enemy to interfere with their ability to attack, which I think is a cool way of handling it. And then what depending on what happens with that, different things you can do different things. Assault, you teleport next to them and make an attack. Shielding, you hinder their attack so that they so that it does less damage. Like if they make the attack, then it interrupts it. Ensnarement locks them down. If they make an attack against someone who's not you, they are now unable to move, and if with some feats they are unable to break out. You just basically stasis them.
One of my favorite characters I ever made for 4th edition was a sorcerer, because they have an ability that, like, you can add your strength modifier to damage. So I made a dragonborn sorcerer whose big thing was, like, he would flex at people and then they would explode.
Incredible.
So good.
Take a look at these guns.
Exactly. Yeah.
And like, all these powers feel so unique to the different classes too. Like, you're not going to mistake there's so many of them and they're all unique and they're all interesting and they all do different things. Hey, look, it's Dazzling Ray. 6d6 plus charisma modifier radiant damage. Oh, it's a wild magic? Then if you rolled an even number on your attack roll, they also take a penalty to attack rolls based on your dex, because screw them. They don't deserve good things. My first Kobold character was Kautzark.
Yes, it was. I remember Kautzark.
Kautzark was a Dragon Rock Kobold. You know, the kind of Kobold that has the wings and is unlocking their draconic power. Mm-hmm. You know? Which I symbolized by multi-classing out most of my rogue powers into sorcerer powers over the course of my levels. However, but I specifically made it so that I took the melee spells. Mm-hmm. So things like so a lot of my things like Thunderworm Jaws, technically it's range 10, but if I'm casting it as a melee spell, I get to use my dagger as an implement if I'm casting it adjacent to an enemy. Meaning I got my sneak attack bonus on it. the entire mechanical gimmick of the character was that I would go up to people, stab them with my dagger, and then the spell would explode into their body. That's how I cast spells. It was just getting, sorcerer spells with sneak attack damage, which I had to sacrifice a lot to get to. I'm not saying this is like a super powerful build. It is not, but but it was a very thematic one, and it worked.
When it hit hard, it hit real hard, though.
Oh, goodness, it did it. When it hit hard, things just disappeared.
Yeah.
Like, hitting someone with moon and stars. Also, because I was my draconic bloodline was a frost dragon. Was a white dragon.
Cool.
Cool. And I took the feat that said anytime I hit with a frost spell, I gain combat advantage against the target until the next turn, which is a rogue activates my sneak attack.
Yeah, so you were sneak attacking your like cold spells, basically.
Yeah.
And then because you were hitting with a cold spell, it was refreshing your combat advantage and letting you sneak attack again.
Yep, exactly. So like, one complaint I've heard about 4E is that you can't do a lot of things outside of your class. You can't, if you pick a class, that's just what you do, and it's just like. That's spoken by somebody who hasn't played the game, because you absolutely you can do like really sideways things.
You can do all kinds of things.
Almost on the level of like a roguelike game for build diversity.
Yeah. Why are there not more 4E based games? I swear.
There should be like a 4E computer game would like be amazing. And
well,
all of the stuff is already there.
But it's not really like a good comparison.
Yeah. Like 4E is not video gamey, but I wish more video games used 4E mechanics, because it would translate. It is not the mechanics are not like a video game, but the mechanics would translate well into a video game.
Yeah, all the options would translate very well.
And here's the other thing.
And the bookkeeping would
4E,
become immaterial. Sorry.
Because so much of like 4E is modular to your character, you can reskin anything and it works.
True.
Like you can play a wizard who is actually an alchemist, and all of their spells are them throwing vials at people. And
wait, were you in that game?
Just worked. Yeah.
Oh heck, okay. Because that was my character.
You can also do that in 5e and stuff too, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
For
like it
reflavor.
works better in 4E than anything I've ever seen. It's just easier and
I
more
don't know
intuitive.
about that.
I
I
think
don't know about
really
that
because like everybody has all of these spells, and every like they're not specific to classes. It doesn't work as well in other things. In 4E, all of the things are specific to your class, so nobody else is doing the things that you're doing.
That is true. However, have you considered when all of your options are functionally the same as making a basic attack, you can flavor anything in 5th edition that's martial to be anything else that you want it to be, because nothing actually is unique enough to any class for it to matter. Huh?
Yeah, I
that
think
makes it really easy to reskin.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, you could do anything as a basic attack. If you just hate having fun or life, or
But yeah, this was actually my character that was that alchemist. Instead of being it was an arcane archer build, where instead of shooting arrows that are enchanted with magic and spirits, it was an alchemist that had a whole bunch of vials prepared inside of their cloak, and they went and through like spider like the ensnaring shot.
You told me about it, because like I remember that very clearly.
The ensnaring shot, instead of being like a zone of difficult terrain that is a burst of no, this was just a glue bomb. This was just a big glue bomb that dropped out into the map. Like I reskinned the heck out of that. It was great. Also, Abaddon is incredible, and
yeah, it was a neat
I've
concept.
Like,
I want to play the muscle sorcerer again. He ruled.
I want to play Abaddon again so bad, and like, I found a way to kind of do it in 5th edition. It just, so much of it was lost. So much of what made it cool didn't translate.
Yeah, this is.
I love
this
the character,
is
though. I love the
I'm
character.
saying. This is the thing I'm saying, is that you can do it, but it's not as cool in 5th edition as it was in 4th.
Yeah.
4th edition just made it cool.
It's 5th edition was, because I still stand by the opinion that 5th edition is on the whole overall the strongest edition of D&D. A big part of that though is definitely the accessibility element.
Mm-hmm.
Because
Yeah.
the bookkeeping and like the dispersed sources of all the different things and stuff for 4th edition made it very hard to make a character without already having everything and knowing everything.
I would argue that Character Builder solves half that problem, but you're not wrong in general.
But you have to buy all the stuff to put into Character Builder still.
No?
No, you didn't have to do that for 4th edition.
It was
As
free.
long as you had a subscription to the
Or somebody
the
you
thing.
knew had it.
yeah, like that was all it took, and like that was so good. And with 5th edition, you actually do have to buy the things.
Mm-hmm. Hey, GD.
But the difference
sorry.
being though that like I buy one book, I have the fighter now.
That's true. No, that is true. But there
Yeah.
might you don't have any extra supplements for Fighter, which is a pro and a
Yeah,
con, I think.
Which is a con as well as a pro. It's just like the nature of the way that they were designed makes 5th edition easier to sell expansions on a class because you buy one book, that book has all these classes or all these like subclasses complete. Like 1 to 20, this is finished. Where 4th edition was like, I bought this book, and it gives me one new power that I want to change my build from these 3 books that I have.
Which is very much the way 3.5 was as well.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Except
It's the
3.5 had
same.
no... Sorry.
it's the same bloat problem, just in a different way.
Yeah. The problem is 3.5 didn't have any way around it, whereas 4e did have the character builder, and does have the character builder, which I can provide to people. Alright, so GD, can I gush about one more character?
Sure.
Cool. Then we'll probably start wrapping up because, oh my god, okay, sorry.
Yeah, it's too late.
So, GD, hear this, okay?
Yeah.
You know how warlocks have patrons?
Yeah.
You know how warlock patrons grow in strength based on their followers?
I did not know that.
Yeah,
No,
because
I
that's.
Yeah,
This
that's the thing.
character, it was a warlock patron, as in they were the patron itself,
Oh.
but all of their followers were slaughtered,
Mhm.
leaving them virtually powerless.
That
And
happened to me one time.
so their goal is to try to rebuild their flock and once again reclaim their place in divinity because they are Abaddon. They're lawful evil. They are, a divine, a dark divine patron, and they were friendly to the party because in this world it was like someone is trying to destroy the world, and dang it, no one's going to destroy the world until me. Until I blow the horn that destroys it. And that's not going to happen for several thousand years. Don't worry, it's fine. But no one gets to destroy the world except for me.
Also, very
the
importantly,
perfect
that's where I
justification.
have my stuff.
So was it GD?
perfect, the perfect kind of like villain working together with the heroes justification. I actually saw a concept that someone made. They drew the character. I'm not sure if they actually had him, where the villain was essentially cursed to be a good guy, rather than that he can't do villainous acts.
So in general, one of the things they did as a devil, as this sort of character, is that they would put people into no-win situations. Whenever they're talking with somebody, whenever they're working within diplomacy, they were incapable of lying. Like, completely, it was impossible for them to lie. But they would always put somebody into a situation where they would lose. It's just they get to choose how they lose. Incidentally, Divine Challenge. You mark the target. The target, this is the Paladin mark. Because they are they are both Paladin and Warlock equal. When the target's marked, they can have a -2 to attack rolls against any attack that doesn't include me. If the first time each turn they make an attack against someone who isn't me, they take damage equal to my Charisma modifier. So if they have the audacity to attack anybody other than me, they're taking a penalty and a big blast. Oh, by the way, just as a side note, if they attack me, they also get hit because White Lotus Riposte, they take damage equal to my Charisma if they do attack me. So if they attack me or if they don't attack me, they take damage.
They get a nice no-win situation.
Again, this is Ludo narrative, right? This is the character's personality in combat form, creating this lose-lose situation. I can use my mark as anytime someone with my Warlock mark falls down, I get temp HP to help me survive, because at the end of the day, I'm kind of a defender. I don't have the most HP in the world, but, you know, I make do. Anyways, fun fact, you see, on pain of death, 3d8 plus charisma damage once per round, they take a d8 damage after making any attacks, save ends.
Oh, jeez.
How dare they?
Yeah, they're not allowed to attack anymore.
But I'm blending that with paladin skills. If an enemy hits me any of my defenses, I only take half damage from the attack, and the enemy is immediately marked for free. Because how dare they? Deadly Attention. Enemy hits me with a melee attack. D8 plus charisma necrotic damage. The target chooses to pull its punch and deal half damage, or take an extra D8 damage. How dare you? And Unspeakable Bond, because again, I also tried to get my allies to join my pact as well. Of course I did. This is a defensive on a warlock. This is a defensive ability. Oh no, I got hit. The one ally takes half the damage for me. I'm sorry, takes all of the damage for me. All of it. Just they take the hit. They take the damage. On a defender, that has different connotations. That's not, oh, I got hit, please save me. That's, I got hit in the face, you take the damage. Also, again, my allies were also part of my pact, which meant Hellsworn Blessing. I could grant them my power. The target assumes the form of a Hellsworn until the end of the encounter. While in this form, they gain Dark Vision, +2 to hit with attack rolls, and an extra 2d8 fire damage on all melee attacks.
Nice.
Brutal.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, Abaddon was so much fun mechanically to play, and so much fun to roleplay as well. But like, I am hard pressed to think of a character that was more mechanical fun to play in combat than Abaddon. It was just the combat fit so well with the personality out of combat, you know, and that it doesn't always happen.
Can I make one point about Bard that I really enjoyed?
Of course.
Bards can multi-class more than once, and every level you get a free respec of 1 feat. And so every level I would change what my Bard was my Bard was multi-classed into on one of the multi-classes. And for me, as the person who gets, you know, like I get bored with having only the same options, that was a way to make it consistently a different thing every level. I always had one thing that was always very different from everything else. And like that, it made a real difference for my engagement with the character. So
Also, all paladin skills can key off of strength or charisma, including the melee ones. So, like, I just went straight charisma for. Sorry.
that's not quite true. A lot of paladin skills
Well.
are strength or charisma. Like they have one or the other, but like there are so many that are strength and so many that are charisma that like you have so many.
You have options. Yeah.
And they're all cool and so fun. And yeah, multi-classing into paladin is really good. Also,
And, like, all the classes are so wildly different.
mm-hmm.
Like, and a lot of and the spell lists don't overlap. I actually forgot to mention that the spell lists don't overlap. The mage spells do not overlap at all. There's like a couple things, but like by and large, the spell lists are specific to that, including sorcerer and wizard.
Yeah.
Like they have their own unique styles of casting spells that makes them feel distinct. Instead of just casting it from a different source, you're actually casting different stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But sword mage got booming blade and stuff.
So sorcerers and wizards do fundamentally different things.
Yeah.
Sorcerers are like strikers, and wizards are controllers, and controllers change the battlefield. It just every role is fun to play, and I haven't seen that. Like you can play a cleric, and it's just better than in 3E or 5E.
Hi.
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 Yeah, I stand by my position that like if you wanted to run a 4th edition game, I would be up to play 4th edition again.
The only problem is I'd rather play the 4th edition game, but like I certainly can run. I will accept my fate as the DM. Kival was actually kind of my first Eddie type character, archetype wise. They were a sword mage.
I'm not opposed to DMing, but I'm just in the position that I'm running too many games as is.
I do respect that.
Respectable.
I just have too many characters I already have too many characters that I want to play and too few that I am playing,
I exactly know the feel.
No, I get it. Yeah, that's exactly your position right now, and I do feel for that. Ah!
Yeah, I also understand exactly where you're coming from.
Yeah. Anyways, that's Dungeons and Dragons.
4th edition.
See, I currently have a folder on my computer of 74 characters that I want to play.
That's a good number. Could you get it to 75?
Have you gotten to 75 over the?
Could.
Have you gotten it to 75 over the course of this stream?
I have not, because I'm not searching for pictures right now. Because that's
Oh,
my
no,
process
that's fair.
for
No.
making a character.
100% fair. No, that is absolutely how you do things. True. All right,
Yeah,
I'm
my
gonna.
process for making a character is I find a picture that like gives me inspiration of some sort, and then I figure out a mechanical route to build the character that the picture inspires me to like make.
Mm-hmm. Hey, look, it's Fireball.
Neat.
All reliable.
Oh, yeah, wizards do get spell books, meaning that you can take extra powers and swap them out between short rests or long rests. Maybe.
Oh, yeah.
So like
yeah.
wizards are still running on the same system of encounter daily at will, except instead of running at encounter daily at will with like everyone else, they can choose more options and switch it out like whenever they want, more or less. Which gives them that feeling of wizard without breaking the system of power system, which a lot of people hated. A lot of people were mad that, unironically, you would be disappointed at how many people were mad at because wizards were not more powerful than martial classes. Straight up. Like, people were...
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not surprised in the least.
People were saying the quiet part out loud. Like... like, people... Yeah.
Yeah, people weird.
Mm-hmm. But...
Yeah.
Someone posted on my Discord recently that when you're playing a fighter and want to throw your javelin an extra 5 feet further,
oh, yeah.
not scientifically possible.
I want to bend the laws of reality to invoke fire upon this entire realm. Yeah,
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, fine.
Oh, and like... That, and there were a couple of... Sorry.
If you want to do a thing that like involves your physical strength that you can only do once a day, absolutely not. That's impossible. No one has ever done that.
How dare you do cool things? You need to take like a feat and 3 abilities to be able to trip somebody.
Yeah, it's like, one of the ones I know, a group, it wasn't my group, but it was a friend was playing in a group where they were playing a Goliath Barbarian. They were playing a Bear Totem Goliath Barbarian, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, they've got 20 strength. They have powerful build from being a Goliath. Bear Totem gives them an additional powerful build on top of their powerful build. So, the strength of a character with 20 strength gives them a lift capacity of 300 pounds. Powerful build doubles that to 600 pounds.
Okay.
Powerful build again doubles that to 1,200 pounds.
Nice.
Right.
We've...
He tried to lift, it was like a tree, basically, so that he could move it to make a bridge for his party members.
Mm-hmm.
So keep in mind, that is your lift. That is the absolute maximum you can pick up off the floor, right? The world record deadlift in the real world is 1,105 pounds.
Mm-hmm.
By a human.
Yeah.
So you got a Goliath who's like twice the size.
Mm-hmm.
With 2 feats that make them magically stronger than, like twice as strong as they should be from whatever, like, inherent advantages. No, can't lift that tree. You cannot lift 1,000-pound tree trunk. Not allowed. Too heavy.
Nah, she said, laughingly.
God, now I want to play an Avenger for real.
Avengers are so cool. The Avengers' whole thing is that they always get advantage on every attack.
Yeah,
They
like
don't
like
do as
fifth
much
edition
damage
advantage.
on attack. Yeah, but they don't do as much damage on every attack, but they always hit.
Yeah, you always are rolling 2 dice on every single attack roll because your god said it's cool. Don't worry about it.
God says you hit.
Impromptu 24-hour stream talking about 4th edition.
Yeah, I'm down.
I don't
whatever.
think
Yeah,
I don't think I
fine by
could
me.
I don't think I could last that for the simple reason that I just do not have enough experience to talk about it.
I don't have a lot of experience with 4th edition either.
Dance of Flame.
I played it like... We had one group that played for, I think, 4 months, and then we just dropped it and went back to playing 2nd edition.
2 weapon
I
die
played-
plus
I-
wisdom. Target takes ongoing 5
played
damage.
3.
Each time they fail, another enemy within 5 also takes that damage, so it erupts out.
Oh god. That's so mean. I love it. But yeah, I played 3 and 3.5 all through like when they were the thing,
Same.
and I did not have as much fun playing any character or playing like monsters as I did playing 4. 4 is just like a mechanically more fun game, I think. Like it's more robust. The monsters have interesting things to do, all of them, and the like it doesn't have the CR problem where CR doesn't make any sense.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, encounter building is also great because there's just an encounter builder that you can scale the stats of any enemy to any level, which is just real nice. All right, we should probably wrap before like forever.
Before we end up rambling further.
I will.
I have never rambled in my life. I have never rambled in this century or the last one, and I will never ramble. You can count on me to do that, and I will just never just stop. just talk and just go on for no reason.
I get it.
Saying nothing.